Welcome back to the Orange Bowl. You're watching Big East football from ESPN Plus, where the #1 ranked Miami Hurricanes are getting ready to take on the Trojans of Troy State. Welcome back once again. I'm Frank Fort. My partner today is John Congemi. John, Hurricanes' offensive balance has really been impressive. They're averaging about 45 points a game. When I talked to the Troy State coaches, I said, what jumps out at you? They said the poise, the maturity, and the decision-making of quarterback Ken Dorsey.
It has to be number 11. Could be the best quarterback in the country this year. Knows what to do with the football. He has excellent poise in the pocket, great awareness, and his decision-making is tremendous. He's close to 62% completions, 6 touchdowns, and only 3 interceptions. He's averaging 289 yards per game. He knows what to do with the football, and he makes this offense work.
Well, of course, Dorsey's had a great year so far, but he's been ably abetted by Clinton Portis, the tailback out of Gainesville, Florida.
Just a super tackle-to-tackle runner. He has great vision, and he's a smart runner, Frank. He'll initiate the contact if necessary. He'll lower the shoulder, or he'll use his speed to get around the corner. He's averaging 6.3 yards a game, 4 touchdowns. He's averaging 115 yards per game, and his 3 touchdowns against Pitt was a career high. So he knows what to do with the football when he gets it.
Clinton Portis with 2 100-yard games in the first 3 games out of the box for Miami. For Troy State, they're running that offense that's in vogue right now. Portis' numbers last week against Pittsburgh, 131 yards, and as you mentioned, 3 touchdowns, which is a career high. Now, Troy State offensively, they're running that offense that's in vogue, that Trojan spread, they call it, 3, 4, sometimes even 5 wide receivers. When you go against a defense like Miami, you hope at least you have a veteran quarterback to run it.
And they do. They have great experience, a 5th-year senior, a 4-year starter, but he has to spread the football out against a stingy Miami defense. He'll have to find open wide receivers early in this game to get it going for Troy State.
Well, we'll see how it plays out. We'll have the opening kickoff from the Orange Bowl, Miami and Troy State. Coming up next, we'll have the kickoff. You're watching Big East football on ESPN Plus. Today's game is brought to you in part by Advance Auto Parts. The best part is our people. Cooper Tire, proud to be the official tire of the Big East Conference. Cooper Tires, drive on. By Discover Card for the slightly smarter consumer. Miller Lite, it's Miller time. By Polaris, it's not just a sled, it's a priority. And by Bowflex, the home fitness machine that delivers real results. From the Orange Bowl in Miami, Florida, it's the Miami Hurricanes against the Trojans of Troy State University. Frank Fort and John Congemi with you. Troy State won the toss and deferred until the second half. Miami has chosen to receive, and they'll be moving from left to right. Andre Johnson and Frank Gore will be the deep receivers for Miami. Today's weather, mostly sunny. It's 84 degrees, 76% humidity, and winds out of the south at 6 miles per hour. Troy State kicking off with Drew Boatler, the place kicking specialist. He has a slight wind at his back, as I mentioned, 6 miles an hour. Andre Johnson did a very good job against the University of Pittsburgh in Miami's last outing, returning kickoffs. He was one of the special teams MVPs for the Hurricanes in that game. We're just about ready to go from the Orange Bowl. The lefty Boatler kicks it off high and short. And this is Andre Johnson and Gore both fumbling and stumbling, and Johnson falls down at the 22-yard line. A lack of communication on the kick return, and Miami will start 1st and 10. Ken Dorsey will lead the Hurricanes onto the field. 6'5", 200-pound junior from Orinda, California, completing passes at 62% pace, 6 touchdowns and 3 interceptions. Miami will start officially from their own 21-yard line. And the Hurricanes will start with their standard pro set. Just underway at the Orange Bowl. Miami trying to tune up and play well, try to cut down on some of the penalties as they get ready for Florida State next week. But they said they're very focused on Troy State. They saw that Troy State played Nebraska tough, at least for a half. On 1st down, this is Clinton Portis. Behind a Davenport block, he gets across the 25-yard line. Corey Sears, the outside linebacker, made the tackle. Here's the starting lineup for the Hurricanes. Davenport and Portis in the backfield. Andre Johnson, Darrell Jones, the wide receivers. Jeremy Shockey is the tight end. The offensive line, outstanding. They have yet to allow a sack this season. McKinney, Haji Rasuli, Romberg, Bibla, and Gonzalez along the front wall for the Hurricanes. Clinton Portis picked up 5 on 1st down. It'll be a 2nd and 5 from the Miami 26-yard line. We'll check out the Troy State defense after this play. That's Jones in motion toward his quarterback. And again, Portis with the handoff. Gets only a yard or two. Derek Jackson up from the cornerback spot to make the tackle, along with Rayshawn Reed, the safety. Here's the defensive line for Troy State: Gamboa, DeVern Williams, Vernon Marable, and Osi Umenyiora. Linebackers, Yamini in the middle with Sears and their best defensive player so far this year, McLean on the outside, Jackson, White, Harper, and Reed in the secondary. From the 27-yard line, it's 3rd and 4 for the Hurricanes. Dorsey will operate out of the shotgun. Blitz on from McLean. It's picked up. Dorsey moving out of the pocket. Dorsey's going to have to run for it. He'll have a first down and goes out at the Miami 35-yard line. Jose Gamboa ran him out, but Ken Dorsey, with one of his rare runs, he picks up a first down, and McLean looked like he was coming free on the blitz, John, but it was picked up.
It was a great job by Ken Dorsey, really deciphering where he wanted to go with the football. It was covered downfield by Troy State. Excellent job by Dorsey to break, contain in the pocket, pumps fakes down the football field, knows where the yardage marker is. He's a smart veteran quarterback, the junior Ken Dorsey, moving the chains for the Canes.
13:35 to go first quarter. Miami on their first possession, and they move the chains for a first down. 1st and 10 from their 35. Standard pro set in the I for Miami. Play fake to Davenport. Dorsey's pass is caught at midfield and into Troy State territory. Kevin Beard making the catch at the 47-yard line. That is another Miami first down, a pickup of 18. Freeman White had the coverage.
What you're going to see all day from Troy State, basically 80-85% zone defense. So you're going to see a lot of players from Miami trying to attack the middle of the football field. He had the tight end, but he decided to go outside that time to Kevin Beard. Comes across, makes a nice catch. That's his 6th of the season. Came in with 5 for 125, an average of 25 yards per catch. That'll move the chains again for the Miami Hurricane offense.
1st and 10 from the Troy State 47. Pitch to Portis, reverse to Darryl Jones. Got a block from Dorsey, trying to get around Derek Jackson, and does, but the safety, Ronald Harper, came up and held it to a gain of only a yard. Darryl Jones' first carry of the season. He's got 4 catches for a 9.8 average coming into the game.
Frank, that could have been a very big pay for Miami. Missed block on the outside by one of the wide receivers. It looked like number 3, Jason Gathers. If he picks up one block on the corner, could have been off to the races for Darryl Jones.
They'll bring up a 2nd and 9 for the Hurricanes. Trying to move it down the field in their first possession. From the Troy State 46, Jeremy Shockey, the tight end, resets to the right side of the formation. Dorsey, 3-step drop, quick throw, complete to Shockey. Shockey down to the 37-yard line. Harper, the safety, and number 24, Freeman White, the corner, combined on the tackle, but it's a pickup of 9 and a Miami first down.
And Jeremy Shockey, you see the big tight end, number 88, 6'6", 246, the junior. He leads the team at 13 receptions for 192 yards on that play. Just an option route, a 5-step drop by Dorsey, a quick pitch to the outside, and a good job by Shockey of lowering the shoulder and getting close to a first down, and he actually does get the first down.
Troy State coaches talked to them yesterday. Very, very impressed with Jeremy Shockey. He's that extra weapon. The wide receivers and the running backs are tough enough. When you have a tight end like that, it makes it very difficult to defend. Here's Clinton Portis, skipped away from the tackle in the backfield and reaches the 31-yard line. Shelton Felton, what a great name that is, number 99 in on the tackle for Troy State. Pickup was 5, it'll be 2nd and 5.
And Frank, that's what Clinton Portis brings to you as an offense. He can make someone miss in the backfield. That time Felton, 99, trying to be a presence, but did a good job, Clinton Portis did, in the offensive backfield, making one Troy State defender miss and making a positive play out of nothing.
This is the 8th play of the drive for the Hurricanes. 2nd and a long 5. Davenport, the fullback, in motion. Chase is on for Dorsey. He gets the ball out complete to Portis, but he'll go down for a loss of a couple of yards. Number 42 in on the tackle. That would be Byron Knight, backup defensive lineman. Came out in the flat and made the play.
Well, initially the screenplay looked like it had a chance to work. Dorsey retreating maybe a touch too early, but Clinton Portis turns around with the football, nowhere to go. Right there you see all white jerseys around Portis on the perimeter, and a good job pursuing to the football. And Larry Coker happy with this drive. You see in his first season as the Miami head coach, 3-0. He's perfect so far.
Good recovery also by Shelton Felton to get in on that tackle. Miami converting at 52% on 3rd downs this season. This is a 3rd and 7. Dorsey out of the shotgun. Protection is good. Over the middle, complete to Shockey, but McLean dumped him right away. At the 29-yard line, they're going to be about 2 yards shy of a first down. Jimmy McLean, 6'1", 230-pound senior out of Enterprise, Alabama, holding that play short of a first down, and from the 29-yard line, looks like Miami's going to go for it.
Yeah, terrific play by Jimmy McLean, almost separating the football from Jeremy Shockey. Good concentration by Shockey over the middle, and as you said, Frank, it looks like the Hurricanes will go on 4th and 3.
On 4th down, the Hurricanes 1 for 1 this year on 4th down conversion attempts. Dorsey will throw for the first down. Gets it to Darryl Jones, but he might be shy of the first down. Outstanding play by Azar Yamini, the middle linebacker, as he knocked Darryl Jones down at the 32-yard line. It looks, John, like he's a little bit short.
Yeah, it depends on the spot right now. It looked like Darryl Jones was trying to stretch the football out, but his knee may have touched just a yard or so earlier than he wanted to. Just an in and out route, a bow route to the outside. You see right there trying to stretch the football out to get it across the 25-yard line, closer to the 24. Let's see where they spot this football. Should be around the 23-yard line. I think it's going to be very, very close, within a length of a football.
Darryl Jones did not get a lot of separation from the middle linebacker, and they're almost a yard short. So with 10:24 left to go in the first quarter, Troy State will take over. 10 minutes, 24 seconds left to go in the first quarter. We're scoreless at the Orange Bowl. You're watching Big East football, Miami and Troy State from ESPN Plus. 10:24 left to go first quarter. Troy State and Miami are scoreless. Now let's take a moment to thank our corporate partner, Cooper Tire, proud to be the official tire of the Big East Conference. Cooper Tires, drive on. After stopping Miami on downs, Troy State takes over at their 28-yard line. They're in the spread offense. DeMontre Carter, the only running back behind Brock Nutter. Going to throw it on first down. Completes it to the outside, and a big hit as Phillip Buchanan rocks DeMontre Carter. No gain on the play. Let's take a look at the backs and receivers from Troy State, and they ran 4 wide receivers to open the game. Carter in the backfield. Cox did not start at fullback. They went with 4 wide receivers. Skipper, Samples, and Phillips are the backs and receivers. The front line of Hall, Jordan, Garman, Currington, and Felton is the slot receiver. 2nd and 10. Again, 4 wide receivers spread out for Troy State in this no-huddle spread offense. Nutter under center, gives it to DeMontre Carter. Carter, good run, has a first down. William Joseph had to finally chase him down at the 42-yard line. A pickup of 13 yards and a first down for DeMontre Carter, who on the year has 138 yards on 34 carries. Here's the Hurricane defensive line: Andrew Williams, Matt Walters, William Joseph, and Jerome McDougal. The linebackers, if they go in their standard set, is Clark, Vilma, and Campbell. And the defensive backs, Rumpf, Reed, Lewis, and Buchanan, although Al Marshall and Marquise Fitzgerald are in there a lot in the dime defense against this spread formation. On first down from the 41-yard line. Felton in motion. Give to Carter. Carter to midfield. Carter right down the middle. James Lewis has to tackle him at the 35-yard line. Well, Troy State coming out and running, John, they only average 1.6 per rush, 51 yards a game, but they've come out running against Miami.
Well, it looked like Phillip Buchanan really woke up DeMontre Carter on that first play. He got kissed right in the mouth, but after that, a terrific play and great job by the offensive line. A huge hole off the right side, and then it's all Carter in open field. The saving tackle from James Lewis from that safety position, but he came into the game, his longest run was 20. That time he breaks a big-time run for the Trojans. 26
yards. First down from the Miami 33. LeBaron Black now in at running back. It's Black with the football, and he'll go down for a loss. Jerome McDougal wrapped him up. Back at the 36-yard line, a loss of 3. Big Jerome McDougal with his 2nd tackle for loss this season.
Troy State trying to go off the right side. They've had success the play before off right tackle. That time, Jerome McDougal, the junior, coming in with 8 total tackles on the season, will have none of it. A tackle for a loss, and it'll bring up a 2nd down. It looks like 13 yards to go for Troy State.
Brock Nutter from Hoover, Alabama, senior, 30 and 10, his record as a starting quarterback at Troy State. 2nd and 13 from Miami 36-yard line. 2 backs in the backfield. DeWitt Pedersen now in, along with DeMontre Carter. Nutter chased out of the pocket. Throwing down the middle, caught by Samples at the 20-yard line, and that will be enough For a first down, a pickup of 16. Jason Samples with his third catch of the year. Mike Rumpf made the tackle.
Well, in the beginning, Frank, at the open, we talked about the experience of Brock Nutter, what he could do in the pocket. Watch him slide to his left. He's trying to find a receiver, just patiently slides, starts pursuing the line of scrimmage, and throws a strike to Jason Samples, number 88. A terrific catch over the middle. Mike Rumpf on the tackle for the Hurricanes, but an excellent job by Brock Nutter, buying some time and finding the open receiver.
Three wide receivers to the short side of the field. Carter, the running back, in the shotgun behind Nutter. Nutter with a blitz coming. Dumps it off and dropped by Carter at the 17-yard line. Jonathan Vilma had the coverage. Like Marquise Fitzgerald came from the weak side, John, or rather where the three receivers were set up on the blitz.
That's exactly right. Marquise Fitzgerald, the senior defensive back, comes off the edge along with Williams, Andre Lewis. Williams, number 99, also with some pressure in the backfield, but that's what made Brock Nutter really want to get rid of the football a little bit quicker than he wanted to. He wanted to hold on to it. He had some open receivers downfield, but great pressure by Fitzgerald, number 27.
Second and 10. Ball just inside the Miami 20. Nutter on a rollout. Throws to the sideline, caught by Tommy Benesy at the 15-yard line. He's taken out of bounds, and penalty flag is down. Right in the interior of the line of scrimmage, it's going to be a holding call against Troy State. The play would have been good for 5 yards, but Miami will accept the holding penalty. 7 minutes, 16 seconds in a quick-moving first quarter. We are scoreless here in the Orange Bowl. Larry Blakeney in his 11th season at Troy State. There's the call from our referee, Ken Wagers. They'll mark off 10 against Troy State. John, the Miami defense, the second-team defense, had trouble against the spread offense against Pittsburgh. First-team defense did a pretty good job, but Troy State, now remember, they actually led Nebraska 7-0 in their opening game of the season, so this offense sometimes is a struggle to play against.
I think it's the guy pulling the trigger for Troy State that makes this offense go. He has experience, and he's been able to find the open receiver so far.
First and 20. Nutter against a four-man rush. Pressure from Andrew Williams forces the incomplete pass. Andrew Williams coming around left tackle, beat Stan Currington, and got big pressure on the quarterback, Brock Nutter.
Well, as a quarterback, Frank, there's a time clock that goes off in your head. There's only so much time you can really entrust your offensive lineman to give you some protection, and that time, number 99, Williams, from the corner, really tries to dismember Brock Nutter, the senior quarterback. A great job on the blitz before by Marquise Fitzgerald and Williams. That time, Williams on a solo, putting a lot of pressure on Brock Nutter.
Four wide receivers, the only running back, Demontre Carter. This second and 20 play. Make it third and 20 for Troy State. Eric Felton is the man in motion. Miami coming on a blitz to give to Carter, and he'll go down. Andrew Williams wrapped him up for a loss of 2. And again, for the second time today, Demontre Carter lost his hat.
Yeah, there's got to be a point in time in this football game he's going to have to strap it up and keep that helmet on, because Miami is relentless on defense. Trying the draw play this time, the Trojans on third down. Excellent job by 95 that time, Jerome McDougal, as well as Williams, number 99, and sniffing out the draw play. Miami stiffens up on third down.
I believe I called Williams. It was Jerome McDougal making the tackle. And that'll bring on the place kicker, Drew Boatler. He'll attempt from 38 yards away, make it a 48-yard try with the 10 in the end zone. Boatler's kick low, hits the upright and bounces away, no good. So Troy State fails to get on the scoreboard. Did not look like Drew Boatler got all of that football. And it was just off the mark, hitting the right upright. So we are scoreless, 6 minutes and 21 seconds left to go in the first quarter. Let's take another look at the kick. As Drew Boatler fails on a 48-yard field goal attempt, we'll keep this game scoreless. The upright, Miami's friend in the early going here in the first quarter. You're watching Big East football from ESPN Plus. 6:21 left to go in a scoreless first quarter. Miami against Troy State. Each team has had the ball once. Miami went 10 plays, gave it up on downs. Troy State went 8 plays, 53 yards, but Drew Boatler hit the upright with a field goal attempt, and so Miami will start first and 10 from their 32-yard line. Portis and Davenport, the running backs behind Dorsey, and Ken will put it up on first down. Fires complete to Darryl Jones to the 50. Makes a cut and is brought down from behind at the Troy State 40-yard line. Corey Sears, the outside linebacker, making the tackle for Troy State. But a big gain on first down inside Troy State territory.
Well, Darryl Jones looks 100%, had an early injury in this season, but takes the curl route. 5-step drop from Ken Dorsey, just a bullet on the inside. Watch that no hesitation move to the inside. Now it's sure speed, the senior out of Dallas, Texas, for the first down, and a big play on the second series for Miami.
28 yards, the gain to the Troy State 40. Out of the eye on first down, 3 wide receiver package in for Miami. Fake to Portis. Dorsey firing, right open, Jeremy Shockey inside the 20, still going, and the safety, Ronald Harper, finally had to make the tackle with Rayshon Reed at the 10-yard line of the Trojans. That's a pickup of 30.
That's a big man going down the middle, Frank. Jeremy Shockey, 6'6", 246, the junior, wide open down the middle. We talked about Troy State playing a lot of zone. That time they go man-to-man coverage, and it's a mismatch with anybody in the country with this big tight end. He runs like a gazelle for as big as he is. Watch him stretch the football close to the 10-yard line. He breaks the tackle of Ronald Harper, the free safety, but Shockey is everybody's All-American.
Ball just outside the 10-yard line. Miami technically can pick up a first down. Dorsey checking at the line of scrimmage as tight end Robert Williams resets. Miami goes with a double tight end. Throw for the end zone. Kevin Beard too far, out of his reach, into the corner. Coverage from Freeman White, number 24. Frank Fort and John Kajemi with you here as you're watching Miami and Troy State, brought to you from ESPN Plus. We are scoreless here in the first quarter. Dorsey today 7 out of 8 for 89 yards. That was his first miss.
And that was a great audible, had man-to-man coverage on the outside, just overthrew his wide receiver.
Again, Miami goes double tight end with Williams and Shockey. Andre Johnson, the only wide receiver, set down toward the bottom of the screen. Dorsey looking for Andre Johnson, has him, touchdown Hurricanes. David Filyaw was in coverage, but one-on-one, Andre Johnson beat him on the post route.
Andre Johnson, a big target at 6'3", 212, the sophomore. He gets his 3rd touchdown of the season just on a quick slant. Little play action in the backfield and a huge target in the end zone. As you said, Frank, Filyaw, no match for the shuffle step right at the line of scrimmage. Had him beat with the first step, and then a sure speed to the inside. 6 points for the Miami Hurricanes.
Todd Severs, who is 14 out of 15 in extra point conversions this year out of the Freddie Capshaw hold, puts it up and good. And with 5 minutes and 11 seconds left to go in the first quarter, Miami jumps out to a 7-0 lead over Troy State as Ken Dorsey hits Andre Johnson on a 10-yard touchdown pass, a 68-yard drive for the Canes. They lead at 7-0. You're watching Big East football from ESPN Plus. A look at the skyline of Miami. A beautiful day here at the Orange Bowl, and the Canes have a 7-0 lead over Troy State. Looking out over Biscayne Bay. And the Hurricanes on their second possession do take a 7-0 lead. A touchdown pass from Ken Dorsey to Andre Johnson. That, by the way, is the 20th straight game that Dorsey has thrown a touchdown pass. Todd Severs will kick it off. Chris Day and DeMontre Carter back to receive for Troy State. And the junior from Iowa, Todd Severs, kicks it away. Sends DeMontre Carter 8 yards deep into the end zone, and he will take the touchback. But Troy will start 1st and 10 from the 20-yard line. John, let's take another look at the touchdown pass. Canes only went with 1 wide receiver.
Yeah, 1 wide receiver in the pass play. It was all 1 at the line of scrimmage. Just a great shuffle move by Andre Johnson. Beats Filyaw right at the line of scrimmage. Had the speed to get inside, and then it was easy pickings for Ken Dorsey to throw the touchdown, his 7th of the season.
Same formation that the Canes used to score a touchdown against Pittsburgh last week with the double tight end. A 4-play, 68-yard drive. Minute and 10 seconds off the clock. Officially an 11-yard touchdown pass from Dorsey to Johnson. And Troy starts 1st and 10 from their 20-yard line. LeBaron Black and DeMontre Carter flanking Brock Nutter in the shotgun formation. Here's to give the Black. He gets a yard or two, no, not much more. Number 75, Vince Wilfork, the big freshman, in there on the tackle, along with Jonathan Vilma, the sophomore middle linebacker. Pickup was 2. It'll be 2nd and 8 for Troy State.
And Troy State will try to keep the pressure on the Miami defense. They will not huddle today. You see Jonathan Vilma, the middle linebacker from Miami, trying to get the signals out to his respective players because it's a hurry-up offense that Troy State implements on offense.
Again, Miami with the dime defensive package. 6 defensive backs in the game. Nutter firing, caught by DeMontre Carter. He'll have a first down at the 31-yard line as Jonathan Vilma made the tackle after a gain of 8.
Just a perfect throw on the outside by Brock Nutter that time, too. tailback, Demontre Carter, came into the season throwing the football effectively, 44 of 87 for 524. Number 11, Brock Nutter, 50% completions. He's averaging 174 yards per game, but a nice throw there on second down to move the chains.
Carter, the senior from Pensacola, Florida, started his career at Auburn, played 2 years there, and transferred to Troy State. On a 1st and 10, 4 wide receivers in for the Trojans. Eric Felton in motion. Give this to Carter, and he'll go down for a loss of a yard. Again, big Vince Wilfork, along with William Joseph, combining to make the tackle for a loss of 2.
Yeah, big number 75. It's tough to miss him in the middle. Vince Wilfork, he's 346 pounds. The nickname of double wide goes to big number 75. It's tough to move him on the interior. He gets a tackle for a loss that time. Had some help from his friends, but he really won the battle at the line of scrimmage.
2nd and 12 for Troy State. Ball at the 29-yard line. Again, 4 wide receivers in. Demontre Carter, the only running back, flanked to Brock Nutter's left. Nutter with a blitz coming from Vilma, tries to throw it out to Carter, who makes the catch up at the 33-yard line. Marquise Fitzgerald making the tackle. That play picked up 4. And it'll be 3rd and long for Troy State.
And Demontre Carter was waiting for that football to come from the heavens. He was probably thinking this might be the 3rd time my helmet pops off, because that ball was floating out to really the middle of nowhere. A nice concentration catch that time by the tailback Carter. The quarterback, Brock Nutter, saw the blitz coming, but actually Miami peeled off a defender, made it a tough throw for the quarterback.
Demontre Carter has 3 catches today for 13 yards. Also 4 carries for 36 yards. There's a 3rd and 7 play from the 34. Nutter on a rollout. He throws, and that ball is caught by Hayward Skipper up at the 45-yard line for a 1st down. Edward Reed, hunting for an interception, got there a little bit late, and it'll be a 1st down for Troy State.
The skill positions for Troy State, very impressive with the concentration they're displaying and making some tough catches. That time, Hayward Skipper knows he's going to get hit on the out route by number 20. Edward Reed breaking on the football just a second too late for Miami, but great throw and a great concentration catch that time by the junior wideout Skipper.
2:26 left to go 1st quarter. Miami leads at 7-0 from the 43-yard line of Troy State. They bring a tight end into the game for the 1st time today. Play fake on a rollout. Nutter fires and hits his tight end. That's Cedric Phillips. He'll pick up about 7 or 8 yards. Close to a 1st down. Howard Clark making the tackle and actually got past the down marker. They'll give him a gain of 11.
And that'll pick up Cedric Phillips, his 1st catch of the season. A great play fake that time. Faking to their left side, and just a little tight end option route to the outside. You see 45. The linebacker Howard Clark can't get out there in time. Credit Edward Reed with the tackle, but you like the way Troy State is mixing it up on offense. They did a good job moving the football down on their 1st series, and they're throwing it very effectively. 54 yards so far in this 1st quarter against Miami's stingy defense.
1st and 10 from the Hurricane 46. 2nd incursion into Hurricane territory for Troy State. Nutter out of the shotgun. Blitz coming. Throwing deep down the sideline. Mike Rump working against Chris Day. Incomplete, out of bounds. Flag down. And now I think they're going to call it uncatchable. The field judge making the signal of an uncatchable ball. He threw the flag, but I think he's just going to pick it up.
I think you're exactly right, Frank. There was some contact along the line of scrimmage there with Michael Rump and the wideout from Troy State, but the ball carried probably 6 to 7 yards out of bounds, was uncatchable. They'll pick up the flag there, but great pressure supplied by Marquise Fitzgerald, number 27, again off the edge, uncovered. Brock Nutter knows he's going to get hit because it's a 3-step drop. They can only protect so many, and great pressure that time from the outside by Marquise Fitzgerald, the senior defensive back.
You also saw 25 Al Marshall coming on the blitz, so Miami sent both the nickel and dime backs on the 1st and 10. 2nd and 10 from the Hurricane 46. Minute 42 to go here in the 1st quarter. Nutter out of the shotgun. 4-man rush for the Hurricanes. Nutter throws, and the ball is juggled and caught again by his tight end, Cedric Phillips, and he'll have a 1st down at the Miami 23-yard line. James Lewis made the tackle. 2 Miami defensive backs closing, going for the interception or the knockdown, and neither one got it.
I'm not so sure Cedric Phillips is saying, why didn't I get the ball in the first couple of games? Only his 2nd catch of the game, the 2nd of the season, but great concentration. You see him tip it to himself, then almost break loose down the sideline of Troy State. Number 23, James Lewis, holding Cedric Phillips out of the end zone, but they'll move the chains again. This Troy State offense going really well, and Brock Nutter completing 7 of 10 for 75 yards.
Not so sure Marquise Fitzgerald didn't actually tip that ball into the hands of Phillips. On a 1st and 10 from the 24, Nutter, 3-step drop, throwing deep, caught by Hayward Skipper down at the 2-yard line. Philip Buchanan had great coverage, but what a throw from Brock Nutter.
Frank, it's all timing. When you go out to that fade route, you want to give your wide receiver a chance to catch the football. That's exactly what Brock Nutter did. Watch how early he catches and throws this football. He's in the shotgun one step and he lets it go. He's depending on a spot. He's trying to throw to a spot where Hayward Skipper can run through the football. And that time he gives up his body, dives, extending inside the 5-yard line for a big catch. It'll be 1st and goal, Troy State.
Gain was 22. That's just an undefendable pass. Now Troy State going with 3 in the backfield. Nutter keeps it and gets virtually nothing. Maybe a half a yard. Counting down in the first quarter, 42 seconds left to go. Troy State this year 6 out of 8 in the red zone, including 1 failed attempt already today. Larry Blakeney's team playing the Hurricanes tough. Moving the football on this Miami defense. This is the 11th play of the drive. Chris Cox in the backfield along with DeMontre Carter and LeBaron Black. Phillips and Tomlin, 2 tight ends in the game. That's Black in motion. Nutter on a rollout, looking to throw back the other way. He's got a man, and it's complete for a touchdown to LeBaron Black. LeBaron Black with the touchdown catch, his 7th reception of the year, his 2nd touchdown reception, and it's now a 7-6 game.
Well, terrific deception that time by the Troy State offense, and you see the head coach on the sideline, Larry Blakeney, very happy about that drive. Actually, the first 2 drives, Troy State has done an excellent job moving the football against this #1 ranked Miami Hurricanes team, and great deception. LeBaron Black, the only wide receiver, the only back in the offensive play that time, makes a tough catch going away from his body, and an excellent throw by Brock Nutter.
Same type of play that Pittsburgh scored on in the 4th quarter against Miami in the Hurricanes last game. Edward Reed coming off the field. Looks like he's got a shoulder injury, John. He's holding that left arm down at his side. We'll have to check on Ed Reed's condition. Drew Butler on to attempt the extra point out of Daniel O'Brien's hold. Butler gets it away, and it is good, and we have come to the end of the first quarter. Troy State puts together an 11-play, 80-yard drive. They take up the final 5 minutes and 11 seconds of the first quarter, and after 1 period, they are tied with the Hurricanes by a score of 7-7. A touchdown pass from Brock Nutter to LeBaron Black, and after 1 quarter, we're tied at the Orange Bowl. Miami 7, Troy State 7. You're watching Big East football from ESPN Plus. Start of the second quarter at the Orange Bowl. Frank Fort and John Kajemi with you. Troy State and Miami tied up at 7-7. And we were just looking at the previous game results for Troy State. They scored against Nebraska on their 2nd possession in their opening game of the season, and that game was 14-7 after 1 quarter. Here it's 7-7. Troy State has looked very sharp offensively throwing the football. The spread offense giving Miami a little bit of a problem. Butler to kick it off. Gore and Johnson are deep for the Hurricanes. This will be the freshman Frank Gore from the 7. Gore to the 25, 26-yard line. Let's take another look at the touchdown pass from Brock Nutter to the running back, LeBaron Black. And all the motion away, John, from the point of attack.
It's exactly what happened. Nobody goes out play side to the right. You see, it almost looks like a sweep by the quarterback, and he turns and throws as he's rolling to his right. A very tough throw, but a very accurate throw that time by Nutter. And Black, a terrific job of concentration. Then you see the senior quarterback, the 5th-year senior, and the head coach saying, "That a boy, that's what we practice on all week." It was a perfect setup for Miami's team speed because they over-pursued to the short side of the field.
It looked like Black came all the way from the other side of the formation, snuck all the way across. 1st and 10. For the Hurricanes from their 26. It's Portis with the football. Portis to the outside, and he'll go down at the 31-yard line. Derek Ansley, the backup safety, making the tackle, although Portis picked up almost 6 on 1st down. Just underway 2nd quarter, 14:35 to go. The Hurricanes tied up with Troy State. And Miami's fans all week concerned, would the Hurricanes just take this as a scrimmage and look past Troy State? Well, after 1 quarter, they're certainly in a ball game. 2nd and 4 for the Hurricanes. And again, it's Portis with the football behind a Jarrett Payton block, and Portis will get the 1st down to the 39-yard line. Again, the safety Ansley combining with Jimmy McClain, number 45, to make the tackle. But that'll move the sticks for Miami. up to the 38-yard line. Pickup of 6 from Clinton Portis. Again, this is a team, Troy State, which gives up 275 yards a game on the ground. So you would figure Clinton Portis would have a pretty good shot at a good day against this Troy State defense.
I believe Clinton Portis will be a tired young man at the end of this fourth quarter because he's going to get a lot of work, as well as Willis McGahee, and you saw on that play Jared Payton and Najee Davenport trying to grind the football out against Troy State.
Payton remains in as the fullback. On 1st and 10, a fake to Portis. Dorsey for Jason Gathers, makes a great catch at the 43-yard line. Tremendous catch by Jason Gathers. Damian, now they're calling it incomplete. He was shoved out of bounds by Damian Coleman and came down out of bounds. Now in the pros, if they think you're going to come down inbounds, they'll give you the catch.
Yeah, this time it looks like number 3 was going to get his foot down right there, Gathers, but he was pushed out of bounds and never really landed inbounds. A terrific defensive play, that time on the outside. Looked like 29, Coleman, the DB, pushing the big wide receiver from Miami out of bounds.
Nonetheless, a tremendous catch by Jason Gathers. The effort was there. 2nd and 10 for the Hurricanes. Dorsey, 5-step drop, under pressure. Has to unload for Clinton Portis, who was well covered. Shelton Felton, the defensive end, moving out to get on Portis, the running back, and pressure there on Dorsey.
Dorsey
number
did
32,
this,
I'm sorry, Gordon Williams, number 32, coming in pretty much unblocked.
Smart play that time by Dorsey. Really nobody downfield. Didn't have time to really set his feet, pick a wide receiver. Just threw the football away in the area of Clinton Portis, but good pressure that time by the Troy State defense. They look like they've come ready to play on both sides of the football.
3rd and 10 for the Hurricanes. 3 wide receivers in the formation. Dorsey out of the shotgun. 4-man rush for Troy State. Dorsey with time, throws complete at midfield to Darryl Jones, and he'll have a first down near the Troy State 49-yard line. Freeman White making the tackle, but it is enough for a Miami first down. They move the chains with 13:25 to go here in the second quarter.
Well, Frank, credit the offensive line. Excellent protection by Ken Forgan Dorsey. Just ample amounts of time just to sit back and wait for this linebacker to slide outside the hash so he can stick the curl route on the inside. Good positioning by the Miami wide receivers and tight end, really stretching that defense of Troy State, so it gives room for Ken Dorsey to stick it in the middle.
They spotted at midfield, a gain of 12 on the completion to Darryl Jones. Clinton Portis in motion for the Canes. There's a pitch to Jared Payton. Payton cuts inside at midfield, picks up only a yard or 2. Jimmy McClain, the outside linebacker, number 45, making the tackle. Jared Payton, not a lot of chances to run the football this year. That was only his 6th carry. And he now has 14 yards.
Yeah, it looked like there was a lot more room to the inside when Jared Payton cut that up, but good team pursuit to the football. You see 4 or 5 white jerseys there for Troy State. Looked like Payton was going to get a couple more yards than he actually did. Only really 1 yard. It'll bring up 2nd and 9 for the Hurricanes.
Dorsey today, 9 out of 12. Dorsey will throw again. Has a man wide open. That's Kevin Beard at the 33-yard line. He gets down to the 31. Derek Ansley made the tackle, but a pickup of 18 yards on the completion to Kevin Beard, the sophomore out of Plantation, Florida.
Nice concentration by Kevin Beard. Really the same play they tried to hit Jason Gathers with to the short side. This time they go to the wide side of the football field. Kevin Beard wide open on the play. Makes the chains move again for the Miami Hurricane offense, but good concentration waiting for that football. Young wide receivers have really played well early in the season for Miami, and they continue to play well today, Frank.
2 catches for 36 yards for young Kevin Beard in the Miami offense today. On a 1st and 10 from the 32, that's Portis, and he'll go down for a loss. Number 96, DeVern Williams, crashing through to make the tackle. Lost 3 on 1st down.
DeVern Williams would not be fooled on that play. That's his 2nd tackle for a loss on the season, but he was following the pulling guard, it looked like, for Miami. Just breaks free from the left side and no running room at all for number 28, Clinton Portis, to go to. As soon as he got the football from Ken Dorsey, nowhere to run, and an excellent play by Williams, the junior defensive tackle.
2nd and 13 for the Hurricanes. They're in their standard pro set. Dorsey checking off at the line. Pump fake. He's going to go deep, looking for Ethnic Sands, who had the ball momentarily but could not hang on. Freeman White there in coverage for the Troy State Trojans. Pretty good throw from Dorsey, John.
Couldn't have been any better, Frank, on the outside. Ken Dorsey really trying to get to his wide receivers, the audible, and he looked like he put it right on the fingertips of the wide receiver out front, just out in front of him. It couldn't be anywhere else, Frank, but outside. That was an excellent throw. Ethnic Sands trying to come down with a tough catch, but an excellent throw by Ken Dorsey on the outside.
Threw it about 2 inches too far for Ethnic Sands. The high school quarterback turned wide receiver, turned backup quarterback, turned wide receiver again.
That's right. He's done it all, and he's made a great transition the last one from quarterback to wideout.
Not only that, he's the team barber. Cuts a bunch of the guy's hair. 3rd and almost 14 for Miami. They have to reach the Troy State 22. 3 wide receivers in the formation. Dorsey out of the shotgun. Blitz coming for Troy State. Dorsey has to run out of the pocket. Dorsey throws and misses Darrell Jones down at the 25-yard line. Well, Troy State's defense, their coordinator, Wayne Bolt, says, we don't plan on blitzing Miami that much, but so far he's shown it quite a bit.
He's mixing it up pretty good, and he's getting some pressure from his front four. That's what you have to do. You don't want to put your defensive backs on an island against Ken Dorsey and Miami because they will eat you up if you give them a lot of pressure. But that time, Ken Dorsey flushed out of the pocket by Troy State, and let's give credit to Troy State's defensive players. They've done an excellent job early in this second quarter.
Todd Seaver's on to try a field goal from 53 yards away. Chris Harvey will snap. Freddie Capshaw puts it down. He's got the distance, but he's going to miss it wide left. Todd Seaver's had plenty of leg, but missed it to the left. He is now 9 of 11 on field goal tries this season. 11 minutes and 1 second left to go in the second quarter. It's Miami 7, Troy State 7. We'll be right back from the Orange Bowl. You're watching Big East football from ESPN Plus.
The games will come to an end this weekend, but that doesn't mean you have to leave the worldwide leader in sports at home. Because the news, interviews, and analysis from your favorite ESPN personalities continues all day, every day on over 600 radio stations nationwide. Check your local listings to find the ESPN radio station near you. ESPN Radio. Take it with you.
Coach's room. Nice.
And we're back.
College Game Day, presented by Discover Card. Saturday mornings at 10:30 on ESPN.
You know, athletes are pretty well known for their superstitions, but I gotta be honest, our guys can be pretty quirky too.
Have a good show, Kenny.
You too. There was this one time Brian had a great show, didn't bathe for 17 days straight.
Whereas this year, though, it's been a very different story.
The worst had to be when Dan spilled clam chowder, Manhattan clam chowder, all over Reese. Had his best show ever. Of course, that got old for Reese really quickly.
Yeah.
He's in makeup.
Okay. Hey, Boilermaker.
Yeah?
Got my curve breaking 2.5 feet.
Oh, yeah? Then you have been practicing, huh? But don't give me no baloney about a curve breaking 2.5 feet, though.
For how much?
$10?
Make it 20.
We got a bet.
Baseball tonight, every night at 10 and midnight on ESPN.
11:01 left to go second and quarter. Miami and Troy State tied at 7 apiece. Join us next week when Troy Nunes leads the Syracuse Orangemen into Pittsburgh to take on wide receiver Antonio Bryant and the Panthers. Join us next week at 12 noon. Check your local listings. First and 10 Troy State, ball just outside their 35-yard line after the missed Todd Seaver's field goal from 53 yards away. And again, the Trojans with 4 wideouts in the game. Brock Nutter, the quarterback, has been very effective so far. And he got the Hurricanes to jump into the neutral zone. Nutter going with a hard count. See if one of his linemen flinched or if it was the Hurricanes. It appears it's going to be on Miami. Nutter so far today, 9 out of 12, 96 yards and a touchdown.
Prior to the snap, offsides on the defensive team, 5-yard penalty, previous spot.
Well, the 5-yard penalty will move it just past the 40-yard line, and this crowd at the Orange Bowl getting a little bit nervous, John, because the Hurricanes have not found a way to really stop Troy State so far.
And Troy State's done a good job of putting this crowd at and really calming this Orange Bowl down.
On a 1st and 5, LeBaron Black is the running back alongside Nutter. Give this to LeBaron Black. He's got a hole, stumbles, gets across the 45 to the 50-yard line, and has a first down as he picked up 9 yards. Andrew Williams came back to make the tackle. But it's a 1st and 10 at the Miami 49-yard line.
LeBaron Black coming into the game, 19 rushes for 50 yards, but this time on the draw play, watch him slip a little bit right there, but then regain his balance. He makes number 51, Jonathan Vilma, miss. 99, Williams, the defensive end for Miami, pursuing, as well as Matt Walters, but an excellent run by Black. You like Black and Carter in the backfield on that draw play. They have a great first step and great acceleration, hitting the holes very quickly for the Trojan offense.
1st and 10 from the Hurricane 49. Nutter, under pressure, throws a screen pass, complete to Skipper. Hayward Skipper, finally dragged down by Matt Walters, but he picked up 12 yards and another first down. And some scattered boos from the Hurricane crowd here. They're not happy with their defensive play. Here's some out-of-town scores. Virginia Tech in the 2nd quarter, up 2 touchdowns over West Virginia. Tennessee leading Georgia at the end of one, 14-3. And Purdue, number 18 in the country, tied with Iowa at the end of one. Ball at the Hurricane 37-yard line. Brock Nutter effective so far, and Hayward Skipper has 3 catches for 46 yards from the Hurricane 37. Give this to LeBaron Black, and William Joseph says, not this time. That's a loss of 2. Big 94, William Joseph, in on his 4th tackle for a loss this season. The 6'5", 282-pound junior from Miami's Edison High School.
It looked like William Joseph that time beating the block of Rodney Jordan, 55. Look at him cut right in the inside gap, and then he's got some big speed too. 6'5", 282. The junior can run down anybody. That time he runs down the Trojan ball carrier.
2nd and 12 from the 39-yard line of Miami. Four wideouts in the formation for Troy State. 4-man rush for Miami. Nutter throws, and the catch is made by Skipper as Mike Rump fell down. James Lewis has to make the tackle down at the Miami 21-yard line.
Well, Frank, as long as this Trojan offensive line can provide Brock Nutter with some time, he's going to find some open wide receivers. That time, an excellent job going to the short side of the field. Just an inside corner route on the outside by number 3, Hayward Skipper. Watch his awareness to stay in bounds and gain another 5 or 6 yards, showing some toughness going up against this Miami secondary.
First down at the Miami 22. Chris Cox now in at fullback as Troy State goes with the I formation. Demontre Carter is the running back. On the option, Nutter pitches to Carter. Carter across the 20 and pushed out of bounds by James Lewis. Flag down on the far side of the field, back at the 28-yard line. And we also have a player down for the Hurricanes. Our view is blocked at the moment. We'll try and pick up that player down at the 5-yard line. It's a call against Troy State. Penn Wagers, the referee, making the call. And they'll bring this play back. Troy State does option occasionally. Not a big part of the offense.
Not
Howard
enough
Clark
men
is the
on the line
Hurricane.
of scrimmage on the offensive team. 5-yard penalty. Previous spot.
The illegal formation will cost
down.
Troy State 5. It'll bring it back to the 27-yard line. Watch number 45 for the Canes.
Coming from the inside out, Frank, 45, the linebacker, Howard Clark, should be at the end of this play. Can't see it on the replay, but he was coming from inside out, pursuing behind the play. Looks like a left leg injury for the linebacker out of Miami.
Howard now just getting to his feet and being helped by the training staff. Looks to be, as you said, the left leg. And that will test the Hurricanes' depth because DJ Williams is unavailable today with a sprained ankle. 1st and 15 for Troy State. Nutter trying to set up a screen. He's still on his feet, and finally he goes down. Santonio Thomas on top, Andrew Williams on the bottom, combined for the sack. That's all the way back to the 35-yard line.
That time, Troy State trying to set up the wide receiver screen. That takes a long time to develop. And Miami was relentless coming up the middle with pressure. You see Santonio Thomas, he finds the screen first, but there's pressure on the outside. 55 was the first Hurricane to get there. Jamal Green, you see as well, 56, Santonio Thomas coming back along with Jonathan Vilma, but a great pressure play that time by the interior line and linebackers for the Miami Hurricanes.
It'll be second and long for Troy State. We have a timeout on the field. The Trojans take the timeout. 8:23 left to go. It's Miami and Troy State tied at 7.
Look at me on the football. Look.
Feels so pretty inside.
Kirk, look, it's you and me.
I have to go. I'm sorry.
It's you and me, Kirk.
I'm a football. Look at me. Kirk!
And we're back.
College Game Day, presented by Discover Card. Saturday mornings at 10:30 on ESPN.
A great slugger we haven't got.
A great pitcher we haven't got.
A great ball club we haven't got.
What have we got? We've got heart. All you really need is heart. When the odds are saying you'll never win, that's when the grin should start.
Now you're getting the idea.
Baseball tonight, every night at 10 and midnight on ESPN.
Monday Night Football, they brought in Dennis Miller, so we decided to give our show a little shot in the arm.
So while Serena sits at home with an injury, Venus Williams is advancing the finals.
Tennis racket! Yeah! NCAA basketball, big dance.
And you always have to try new things. You always got to tinker with it, make it better.
The Bulls basketball look. Why? Why was it so bad?
You know what? It's a very subjective thing.
Next Sports Center, 1 hour from now with Carrot Top. I'm Carl Ravitch. Thanks for watching, folks.
Woo! Smart!
8:23 left to go second quarter. We're tied at 7 apiece. Time now for a look at the Army of One, brought to you by the United States Army. In 1991, Miami beat Nebraska in the Orange Bowl 22-0. The Canes shared a national title that year with Washington. 12-0, their 4th national championship. 2nd and 24 for Troy State as we return to play from the Miami 35-yard line. Nutter out of the shotgun. Quick step and throw complete. Catch made by number 1, DeMontre Carter. He got it inside the Miami 25 to the 23-yard line. Got back most of the yardage lost on the penalty and a sack. It'll be 3rd and 11.
Frank, this is very tough to do out of the shotgun with one step. Try to find the laces, then throw a dart in on a slant. That's a great play by Brock Nutter. Great concentration by the wideout on the outside, number 1, Carter. But even a better throw that time by the senior quarterback, the 5th-year player.
3rd and about 12 for Troy State. 3 wide receivers. 2 backs alongside Nutter in the shotgun. 4-man rush for Miami. Nutter under pressure. Chased by Santonio Thomas. He puts it up for grabs, and it still was nearly caught by Jason Samples. Looked like James Lewis mistimed his jump on the interception try. Big pressure from Santonio Thomas forcing the incompletion. And Nutter, John, really threw that up for grabs.
Yes, he did.
We're at the Orange Bowl, a nice bright sunny day, but so far the Hurricanes struggling with Troy State, brand new to Division I. We're tied at 7. I'm Frank Fort along with John Kangemi. Drew Boatler in to attempt a field goal. This will come from the 30-yard line plus the 10. A 40-yard try. And a flag down as Troy State broke the huddle with 12 players. They had an extra man on the field. It appeared Trent Garman tried to get off the field late. Finally, the referee, Penn Wagers, threw the flag.
Prior to the snap, illegal substitution on the offensive team, 5-yard penalty, replay, 4th down.
Illegal substitution, the official call, and that'll move it back 5 yards. So this will be a 45-yard field goal try from Boatler.
And that doesn't make Larry Blakeney happy because Trent Garman's 6'1", 313. He really can't hide from anybody.
Here's the kick from Boatler, and it is going to be no good. Hits the crossbar. Well, he's banged one off the right upright, and now he hits the crossbar. From 45 yards away, the field goal is no good. 7:27 left to go second quarter. Miami 7, Troy State 7. You're watching Big East football from ESPN Plus.
I'm Dan Patrick here in the ESPN Radio Chopper. Radio marketing is all about promotions. That's why we're blanketing the country with these ESPN radio bats. We've got live sporting events. We've got call-in shows. You can log on to ESPNradio.com and find out more about stations in your area. Or you can listen online. So tune in. And if you happen to catch one of these bats, enjoy!
He's a field goal kicker. What's so amazing about a field goal?
It's 63 yards under pressure.
Under pressure?
Pressure?
I never said more than 5 words to a field goal kicker in my life. Like, go get me some water. And hurry.
Guys, look, I got $40. Says none of y'all can hit from half that distance.
You got it. I'll take that. It's a bet.
Guys, believe you're up.
Pretty far.
Oh, sweet.
Bowler, 10% discount.
Guys, I'm sorry, you're not the game day band.
We are the game day band.
And we're back. Big Ten football.
College Game Day, Thursday nights at 7 on ESPN.
7:27 left to go second quarter. Miami in a struggle with Troy State, a newcomer to Division I, tied at 7. For ticket information for Hurricane football, contact the UM ticket office at 1-800-GO-CANES or purchase them online at www.hurricanesports.com. Remaining games, a Thursday nighter against West Virginia, Temple, Syracuse, and of course the rescheduled game with Washington, the game canceled from September 15th, now set for November 24th. Right now, the Hurricanes have to roll up their sleeves and get to work. They're in a struggle with Troy State, rather unexpectedly. Tied at 7, 1st and 10 from the 34-yard line, rather the 29-yard line of Miami. On first down, Dorsey with play action. Steps up and hits Darryl Jones at the 45-yard line for a pickup of 16. And a Miami first down. Derek Jackson had the tackle.
Coming out of that huddle, you wanted to see Miami really step it up and go down the field. They've kind of been a little bit boring with their offense so far, trying to grind it between the tackles. That time, he throws a strike, Ken Dorsey, over the middle to Jones. And you see there, number 45, Howard Clark going off with a left ankle sprain. And it's official right now. He will not return to this football game.
Miami playing a lot of nickel and dime anyway, but I would assume Jarrell Weaver would take Clark's place at the weak side linebacker. On a first down, here's Willis McGahee hit in the backfield, manages to squeeze about a half a yard out of the play. Number 96, DeVern Williams, and number 72, Osi Umenyiora, making the tackle for Troy State.
And I'm glad you called that name before I did, Frank. Good job. You know, you really don't lose anything with Willis McGahee in the backfield. Clinton Portis a great back, but Willis McGahee has been running the football terrifically. There you see 72, big number 72, the defensive lineman for Troy State.
Umenyiora out of Auburn, Alabama on a 2nd and 9. Dorsey with good protection, throwing off the hands of his receiver and then dropped by Ronald Harper. Kevin Beard stretched out to try to make the catch, and Harper nearly had the interception.
Well, he tried to stretch out for the catch, but big number 48, the linebacker, Ben Waldrop, was about ready to lower the boom on the young wide receiver, Ken Dorsey, trying to get it over the middle. You see Beard stretching out right there. 48 in white was ready to lay the boom on him, but Ronald Harper thought he should have had the pick off the tip pass.
3rd and 9 for the Hurricanes. They have 1 touchdown in 3 previous possessions. Three wide receivers in on this 3rd and long. Dorsey looking for Andre Johnson, has him inside the 35-yard line of Troy State, out at the 31-yard line. Rayshun Reed pushed him out of bounds. It'll be a first down Miami. 6:17 left to go here in the second quarter.
Nice route by Andre Johnson, but the key was Derek Jackson, the cornerback. He doesn't drop off. He stays flat, and there's a huge void to the sideline there. 16, Rayshun Reed cannot make up the ground. It was the problem, the cornerback, Jackson, 27, gave too much ground on the short side, and there was plenty of room for Andre Johnson to run that corner route. A lot of room for Ken Dorsey to stick it in there. The Canes are on the move at the 31-yard line. You see Ken's numbers right now, 12 of 17 for 170 with 1 touchdown.
Gain was 23 on the completion to Andre Johnson on a first down. McGahee with the football. Got a good block from Payton, but he is hit hard at the 30-yard line. Reed make the first contact, the safety, and then Ben Waldrop, the middle linebacker. Actually, Troy's leading tackler as the backup middle linebacker. Waldrop had 36 tackles coming into the game.
Don Solinger, the running back coach for the University of Miami, was halfway on the field trying to get Willis McGahee's attention to cut it up and get what you can. That time, the Troy State Trojan defense really stretching the field to the Miami sideline. No gain on the play to bring up 2nd and 10.
This does not look like a team that's given up 275 yards a game on the ground.
Not at all.
On a 2nd and 10, Dorsey signaling his wide receivers. Give this to McGahee. He's got a hole. McGahee behind a good Peyton block, puts his head down and makes the contact at the 20-yard line against Ronald Harper. Picked up 11 and has a first down.
I think Don Solinger, Coach Solinger, got his point across with one play. You see that time, Willis McGahee going off the right side, a huge hole. Great down block that time by Jeremy Shockey. You see Peyton out in front, but watch him deliver the blow. That's what great backs do, and that's what all the Miami running backs do. They initiate contact downfield, and Ronald Harper is going to have a sore sternum tomorrow.
Total yards in the game, and the offenses for both teams have been effective, but only one touchdown on the board for each side. A couple of missed field goals for Troy State, one for Miami. McGahee again, trying to get to the outside, cut down by Waldrop as he reached the 16-yard line. It's a gain of 4, and McGahee a little bit slow to get up.
Yeah, not a good sign. Doesn't look like he's going to get up, Frank, as you said. Stayed down, looked like a harmless hit on the outside, but you see McGahee in a lot of pain on around the 15-yard line of the Canes.
Well, this is the last thing Miami wants, aside from being in a struggle of a ball game, is to get guys nicked up before Florida State. Let's take another look.
And that's exactly right, especially after the hard run, the last play out. You see McGahee trying to go to the outside. Just looked like he takes the hit around the waist area, but really didn't see anything that deliberate or that outstanding that you would say he would stay down for that long. It looked like a lower leg injury, if anything, Frank.
Being helped to his feet. He looks okay, coming off under his own power.
May have gotten the wind knocked out of him, Frank.
That, or maybe you mentioned a hit, maybe a hip point or something like that. But McGahee doesn't look all the worse for wear. He did pick up 4 yards. And it'll be 2nd and 6 for the Hurricanes. Ball close to the 16-yard line of Troy State. Only 4:53 left to go in the second quarter. This ball game moving along rather quickly.
And that'll bring the starter Clinton Portis back into the football game at tailback for Miami.
Fullback right now is Kyle Copia, the redshirt freshman. Dorsey throw into the corner, caught by Johnson. Did he come down inbounds? No, he did not. Could not get a foot down inside the Troy State 10-yard line. David Filyaw had the coverage.
Ken Dorsey has thrown that short corner route very well all day. That time a little bit high with the delivery. Andre Johnson couldn't keep a foot down inbounds. A nice route. That time really the only poor pass Ken Dorsey's thrown all day.
12 out of 19 for Dorsey. 3rd and 7 upcoming. Miami sends 2 wide receivers to the wide side of the field. Johnson and Jones. Ethnic Sands is split out to the bottom of the screen, and he's in motion, making it a trips right. Quick drop, throw to Sands off his fingertips. Was it a lateral? No, they'll call it incomplete. Throw was behind Sands. Not a good delivery by Dorsey.
When you talk about Ken Dorsey and making the easy passes, believe me, that is not an easy pass when you've got somebody going directly outside of you at full speed trying to hit him on the run. That's the toughest pass he'll want to complete today. That time Larry Coker trying to make him get the pass, get some leverage on the outside. Ken Dorsey not happy about that play, probably not happy about the play before that would have gotten him enough yardage for the first down.
Todd Severs with a 34-yard field goal try. Capshaw puts it down. Severs gets it away, and it is good. And with 4 minutes and 25 seconds left to go in the second quarter, Miami finally has regained the lead over this very scrappy Troy State team. 4:25 left to go in the second. Miami leads it by a score of 10-7 at the Orange Bowl. You're watching Big East football from ESPN Plus.
But baseball is marking time. This field, this game, it's part of our past, Ray. It reminds us of all that once was good. Could be again. Oh. People will come, Ray. People will most definitely come.
Baseball tonight, every night at 10 and midnight on ESPN.
It's college football season, and that means classic Friday tailgate, only on ESPN Classic. Every Friday from 1 to 7, witness the greatest games.
Touchdown! The Snake does it again!
The greatest players and the greatest rivalries in college football history. It's the classic Friday tailgate. Every Friday from 1 to 7, only on ESPN Classic.
Put yourself in the hot seat of ESPN's 2-minute drill. Feel your heart pump and your adrenaline build as you race the clock. Now you can be in the hot seat at home. ESPN's 2-minute drill, the ultimate sports quiz show, comes to the PC with ESPN's 2-minute drill CD-ROM. Test your sports knowledge with host Kenny May and other ESPN personalities such as Rich Eisen, Tom Jackson, and Charlie Steiner. ESPN's 2-minute drill CD-ROM. Available wherever software is sold.
4:25 left to go second quarter. Ken Dorsey and the Hurricanes struggling to a 10-7 lead over Troy State. And John, it's one of those games you look at, is Miami not sharp, or is Troy State playing that well?
Well, you take a look at the scoring drives, 9 plays, 55 yards, Severs with the 34-yard field goal. But I think you have to give the credit to Troy State. Troy State's playing an excellent football game, and Miami's not playing poorly. They're just getting a competition out that's been outstanding out of the Trojans on both sides of the football.
Larry Blakeney in his 11th season, outstanding record at Troy State. This is a school that has won a couple of Division II titles back in 1984 and 87. In fact, the head coach in 84 was Chan Gailey, who's now the Dolphin offensive coordinator. Todd Severs will kick it off. Chris Day and DeMontre Carter back to receive for the Trojans. Day number 2, Carter number 1.
You would look for Severs to knock this into the end zone with that wind coming out of the east.
Severs hits it high and long, driving Carter back 7-8 yards deep, and he again will take a touchback. That's one area of the game that Todd Severs has definitely improved on, is his kickoffs into the end zone. We have 4 minutes and 20 seconds left here in the second quarter. Coming up at halftime, we'll have a report on the history of the Heisman Trophy, plus we'll check out the national scoreboard and stats and highlights from this game, all brought to you by Discover Card. 1st and 10 from the Troy State 20. Miami's defense has yet to come up with a turnover today. They would certainly love to do it here.
We got 6 DBs in the football game, does the Miami defense, with Jonathan Vilma right in the middle of things, the middle linebacker.
Miami on the season has forced 12 turnovers in their first 3 games. Looking for their first one today. Nutter on the give to DeMontre Carter. He picked up only a yard or 2. Jerome McDougal had him around the ankles, and then Marquise Fitzgerald came in to clean up.
That's exactly what happened. Jerome McDougal did a nice job holding his ground on the defensive end position. And number 27, Marquise Fitzgerald, he's been in the backfield, the Troy State backfield, all afternoon along with Phillip Buchanan. Does a nice job.
5 carries, 37 yards for DeMontre Carter so far in this game. Phillip Buchanan had a pick in the Canes' last game against Pittsburgh. Matched up one-on-one with Day right now. Fake to Carter. Nutter on the rollout, finds LeBaron Black. And he's knocked down by Ed Reed, but not before Black picks up a first down out to the 32-yard line. A couple more out-of-town scores. Virginia Tech rolling against West Virginia. It's now 21-0. 7th-ranked Tennessee with a 4-point lead over the Bulldogs of Mark Richt. And Maryland leading Virginia as Maryland looking to go 5-0. Purdue and Iowa still tied in the second. From the Hurricane 32, rather the Troy State 32, it was a pickup of 11 yards on the completion to LeBaron Black. Miami with the dime defensive package in, as they have been most of the game. Nutter on a give to Carter. Carter will go nowhere, lost the football, but Troy State's going to get it back. Number 76, Brandon Hall, came up with the recovery and actually gained a half a yard. As the fumble was forced, Jonathan Vilma looked like he got a hand in there to force it.
It looked like the fake pass draw play up the middle. Carter, you see if somebody gets a hand on it, Vilma, the first player there. It looked like the helmet of number 94, William Joseph, trying to strip the football out, does strip the football out, but an aware play by Brandon Hall, 76. The right tackle by the Trojan offensive line. They do a good job and keep possession of the football.
Actually picked up close to 2 yards. It'll be a 2nd and 8. John Vilma, the sophomore out of Coral Gables, stepping into the big shoes left by Dan Morgan. He went on to the NFL after his All-American senior year. Nutter trying to set up a screen. Fumble, loose football. Picked up by Jerome McDougal. He fumbled it.
Nutter got it back.
And it looks like Brock Nutter got it back. Can you believe that? Jerome McDougal was trying to pick up the football and score, and he fumbled it right back to Brock Nutter. And a timeout call by Miami. They want to save some time on the clock.
Well, great pressure that time by the Miami defense. 55, the first player in for Miami, it looked like. Jamal Green, and then it's a loose football, and it's unbelievable that Brock Nutter could get this back. Take a look at the top side of your screen. It looks like 55 is the first one there, and 94 as well, William Joseph, but looks like 95, McDougal was trying to pick up a quarter on the sidewalk.
It looked like Nutter actually got a hand in and knocked it back out.
And knocked it back out, but McDougal should have just tried to get on the football. It would have been Miami ball around inside the 20-yard line.
Well, that's, you know what, John, that's easy for us to say, but in all honesty, the coaches teach them, when the ball's on the ground, try and pick it up and score. And as a defensive lineman, you've got nobody in front of you to that end zone. And I'm sure his mindset was, hey, I can score. But I think Brock Nutter made a great play to knock the ball loose one more time.
Well, that was an awesome play that time by the Miami defensive front seven. But Brock Nutter made a better play of getting the football back from McDougal, number 95.
So there's a timeout taken by the Hurricanes. The loss, by the way, was 19 yards all the way back to the 15-yard line. And it'll be 3rd and 27 coming up. Join us next week when Troy Nunes leads the Syracuse Orangemen into Pittsburgh to take on the Pitt Panthers and awards candidate Antonio Bryant. Join us next week at 12 noon. Check your local listings for that game.
Wouldn't be surprised here, Frank, if Troy State comes out and runs a draw play to get this clock going. See if Miami will use their timeouts, because they're in this football game 10-7. The worst thing they want to do now is a turnover and give Miami a short field to get a score with 2:12 before halftime.
The Hurricanes crowd getting fired up for one of the few times today. Their team has struggled here in the first half, finding a way to stop this offense of Troy State. And a flag down. Thrown by the referee, Penn Wagers. Miami pointing Troy State's way. We'll see what Penn has to say.
Prior to the snap, false start.
Procedure.
Offense, 5-yard penalty. Replay,
and that'll be another 5
down.
yards back to the 10-yard line. So make it a 3rd and 32.
We talked about how quiet and subdued this crowd was. Troy State had a lot to do with that. Now, Troy State moving backwards, the ball on their own 10-yard line. The crowd of this Orange Bowl trying to get back into this game.
4th penalty against Troy State for 25 yards. Miami's been flagged only once today. Nutter on the draw play, as you called it, John, DeMontre Carter. And Carter will get up to the 15-yard line. John Vilma and Edward Reed making the play. Gained almost 6 yards, and Miami will take another timeout. Al Marshall also in on the tackle, number 25 for the Hurricanes. And it'll bring up 4th down in a punting situation, and Jeremy Schatz will punt for the first time today. First punt for either team.
Weighted by penalties and great pressure from that Miami front seven. Miami's defense answers the challenge with 2:04 before halftime to try to get good field position for this offense to see if they can take it down and stick it in the end zone. But credit again, Troy State, other than that offensive series of going backwards, they've done an excellent job of moving the football on this Miami defense.
Miami forcing 2 fumbles on this last Troy State possession, but unable to come up with either a loose football and get that turnover that they've been looking for, something that can kind of get the momentum going their way, because right now Troy State has the belief that they can play with the Hurricanes. They're in this game, and that's something you want to take away from a team that on paper is at least overmatched. Coming up the Discover Card halftime report, we'll have a look at the history of the Heisman Trophy. We'll check the scoreboard from around the country, and we'll have the stats and highlights of this game at the Orange Bowl, all on the Discover Card halftime report. 2 minutes and 4 seconds away from the end of this second quarter at the Orange Bowl. Shots in to kick. Darryl Jones standing back at the Miami 43-yard line. Miami loading up the line of scrimmage. Maybe trying to come after this punt. At least force the bad field position. Snap is good. Shots with time. Gets it away. Low kick hits at the 45-yard line and will be downed near midfield. So Miami will have outstanding field position at the Troy 49-yard line, a 34-yard kick, and 1 minute and 56 to work with, but only 1 timeout.
That's exactly right. 1 timeout, plenty of time for number 11, Ken Dorsey, to engineer a scoring drive. 1 minute 56 before halftime. Look for him to use that corner route, the short corner, either the short side of the field or the wide side. They've been very successful on first down for Miami.
This game a little bit reminiscent of the Louisiana Tech game last year, where Miami was an overwhelming favorite but struggled to win by 11, although that game was a lot higher scoring than this one. Miami with 3 wide receivers in the formation. Portis the only back alongside Dorsey. On the draw to Portis. Portis at midfield, cutting back, and he'll go down, no gain. Number 92, Vernon Marable, making the tackle for Troy State. the second quarter, Miami's had trouble running the football. 2nd and 10 for the Hurricanes. Clock moving, 1:35 to go. Dorsey again out of the shotgun. Dorsey throws, caught and dropped by Andre Johnson at the 40-yard line. Freeman White had the coverage. And the Hurricanes' concentration level is not quite what it needs to be today.
Well, Andre Johnson has caught everything thrown his way. That time you could see as the ball came into his body, his head looked upfield to go down the field and try to get yards after catch. That time he just needed to secure the football, and that would have stopped the clock for a first down for this Miami offense. Now it's 3rd and 10 with the ball around the 50-yard line.
3rd and 10 for the Hurricanes. Andre, the sophomore out of Miami High. Dorsey out of the shotgun. 4-man rush for Troy State. Dorsey fires, caught by Johnson this time at the 35-yard line. Corey Sears and Ronald Harper combined to make the tackle for Troy State. A pickup of 14 and a first down near the Troy State 35. They'll stop the clock to move the chains with 1:20 to go.
Plenty of time for this Miami offense. 1:19 and counting now for the Canes.
From the 36, Brett Romberg with the shotgun snap to Dorsey. Blitz coming. Dorsey to the outside and incomplete. Fans wanted a flag on Derek Jackson as Andre Johnson was the intended receiver. And Derek Jackson, the cornerback for Troy State, remains down at the 22-yard line. Clinton Portis today for the Hurricanes had not quite the game he's been having. 7 carries, only 19 yards. He has 2 100-yard-plus games, including over 130 against Pittsburgh last week.
And he's averaging 115 yards per game, Frank. We talked about the great balance. That's what makes the Miami offense go. The great passing of Ken Dorsey and the excellent running of Clinton Portis. Today, really, it's been a lot of passing and not too much running by the offensive line and the running backs for Miami, particularly Clinton Portis.
Only 43 yards rushing for the Hurricanes unofficially, with only 1:07 to go. And there is the running backs coach and special teams coordinator Don Solinger.
And he's tried to get his running backs to hit it up in the hole a little bit harder, a little bit tougher against this defense.
Dorsey out of the shotgun on a 2nd and 10. Troy State backs out of the blitz, send 4. Dorsey to the sideline. Jeremy Shockey did not make the catch inbounds. Jimmy McClain had the coverage. Dorsey actually did catch the football, but he did not catch it inbounds. He was juggling it, John, as it appeared he went out of bounds.
There's been some close calls. There's been some excellent catches and some close calls on the far sideline. A great outstretched hand there, left hand. It looked like he caught the ball. It's tough to see if he had control of the football, Frank, but that was an excellent catch. It looked like his body clearly touched inbounds, and it was tough to take that angle from behind, but unless he bobbled the football, that was a catch.
Dorsey only 3 for his last 11. 3rd and 10. The updated numbers on Dorsey. Blitz coming. Dorsey fires complete. Andre Johnson to the 22-yard line. That'll be a Miami first down. A gain of 13 with 56 seconds to go. David Filia made the tackle for Troy State.
Frank, in my opinion, Miami in the 3rd quarter, after they're so successful with no huddle, I think they could really pick up the momentum of the game if they came out and ran a little bit of spread offense of their own.
On a first down, Dorsey, plenty of time.
Wide
going
open.
For the far corner, Kevin Beard, touchdown Miami. Kevin Beard left all alone. That is his first collegiate touchdown. It comes with 45 seconds left to go here in the 2nd quarter and boosts Miami's lead to 16-7. A much-needed confidence booster for the young wide receiver and for the Hurricanes in general today.
For the first time all afternoon, it looked like Troy State was confused on defense because Miami had a little bit of up-tempo offense. They went with the no huddle. They did a good job of protecting Ken Dorsey, and he found Kevin Beard, as you said, Frank, for his first collegiate touchdown.
Sievers on to attempt the conversion. It is up and good. 45 seconds remaining in the first half, and Miami has now upped their lead to 10. It's 17-7. John, where do you think the breakdown for Troy State occurred in this coverage? Because there wasn't anybody within 20 yards of Kevin Beard.
It was definitely in the secondary, Frank. They had bodies running all over the place, and they couldn't find out where they wanted to line up initially on this spread offense of Miami. You see defensive backs running to the left. Ken Dorsey with excellent protection, and it was just a bust on the right side. It looked like a couple DBs were looking at each other. They went to the wrong side of the football field. That gave Ken Dorsey an enormous amount of time just to stand and wait in the pocket, and he found an all-alone wide receiver in Kevin Beard, number 9, for his first touchdown.
A 7-play, 49-yard drive set up by the short punt from Troy State after the fumble that Brock Nutter recovered back at his own 15-yard line. They had to punt from near the end zone, and that gave Miami great field position with about 2 minutes to work with.
And you got to credit that defensive stand, the timeout, the defense of Miami really making the Troy State offense for the first time all afternoon go backwards. They force 2 fumbles. They have a couple penalties, procedure penalty. They end up kicking the ball from around their 20-yard line. They get the ball around the 50, and then it's that Miami offense came out no huddle and shoved it down Troy State's throat. Really did a nice job of throwing the football. Ken Dorsey looking both sides of the football field and spreading it out.
Todd Severs will kick it off. Demontre Carter and Chris Day back to receive for Troy State. 45 seconds still to go here in the second quarter, so if you're Miami, you definitely want to keep Troy State off the scoreboard. They do get the ball to start the second half. Severs hits this kick low, takes a bounce, and Carter picks it up at the 4. And Carter will go down as a flag flies at the 15-yard line. Excellent special teams coverage. Kellen Winslow Jr. in there along with Jermel Weaver and Antrell Roll all picking up a piece of that special teams tackle. And we'll see what the flag is about. From where it was thrown, I would say most likely a block in the back, or Penn Wagers indicates a hold. So it'll be half the distance to the goal, and Troy State will start from approximately their own 8-yard line. 41 seconds left to go here in the second quarter. Frank Ford and John Kajemi with you, and the Hurricanes and Ken Dorsey with the second touchdown drive today, although you'd have to say Miami has struggled a little bit in this game. They haven't run the football like they wanted to, and the spread offense has been giving them some problems through most of the first half.
It really has, and Ken Dorsey's really done a nice job of taking the load over for the running game. The running game has been stuffed for Miami, and it's all been the passing game of Ken Dorsey and this Miami young wide receiving core to keep him in this game and push it up to 17-7 lead.
Chris Cox and LeBaron Black behind Nutter in the I formation. They're just going to give it to Black, and he is hit at the line of scrimmage. Chris Campbell there to make the tackle, and then he got some help. Jarrell Weaver, number 58. Picked up about 2 yards, and Troy State's going to be content to run out this first half. Number 61 for Troy State, Robin Lee, starting left guard, is limping off the field. Looked like he might have turned an ankle. 2nd and 8 for Troy State. They may not have to snap the ball again. They haven't started the 25-second clock. And that's going to be it for the first half. So we're ticking down 1-0, and we have reached halftime here at the Orange Bowl. John, kind of a strange performance by Miami. Most people would expect them to be blowing out Troy State at this point, but so far just a 10-point game.
Well, give credit to Troy State. It's been a lackluster performance offensively for Miami, but they've done a nice job throwing the football, and Ken Dorsey's had a big first half.
So we have reached halftime. It's Miami 17, Troy State 7. Coming up after these messages, stay tuned for the Discover Card Halftime Report. You're watching Big East football from ESPN Plus. Troy State by a score of 17-7. Troy State will have the football to start the second half. Here's a look at the first half numbers, John Kajemi, and maybe the most surprising number of all, aside from the score, is that Miami has only 44 yards rushing against a team that gives up over 270 a game on the ground.
Well, we talked about Clinton Portis in the open. We thought he would be a big part of this Miami offense, but as you said, Frank, only 44 yards rushing, but Troy State has done an excellent job of possessing the ball and not turning it over. You see on the bottom, Nutter, 13 of 17. He's done an excellent job of making precision passes and not turning the football over.
Chris Day and Demontre Carter back to receive for Troy State. Carter to the lower left of the screen as Todd Severs will tee it up for Miami. And we're underway here in the third quarter. Low line drive kick. This will bounce into the end zone past Day and out of the back of the end zone for the touchback. So Troy State will have it 1st and 10 at their 20 to begin the second half. Brock Nutter, 13 out of 17 in the first half. 149 yards, 1 touchdown, no interceptions. And coming into the game, John, he had 3 touchdowns and 5 INTs, so he has been taking much better care of the football today.
And in his last big game against Nebraska on the road, he started out really well, and then he turned the football over in the games against Middle Tennessee on drives that really started the football game. They started in the hole. Today against Miami, they did a good job in the first half running this no-huddle offense. Let's see what kind of adjustments this Miami defense, especially in the defensive secondary, make against Brock Nutter in this spread offense.
Nutter starts out of the shotgun. Black and Carter alongside. Fake to Black. Nutter throwing, caught by the tight end, and then dropped by Phillips as the big hit from Ed Reed forced the incompletion, and we have a flag down at the Troy State 18-yard line. Well, this is why Ed Reed is an All-American. Take a look at Penn Wagers. It's like illegal downfield against Troy State. Larry Blakeney, the head coach of Troy State, had to be extraordinarily happy with the way his team played in the first half. And we'll see if Miami decides to accept the penalty or take the down.
Ineligible receiver, downfield on the offensive team. The penalty is declined. Second down.
Well, Miami will take the result of the play, which was an incomplete pass on the breakup by Edward Reed.
Edward Reed's had a couple big hits in this football game. The only difference with that one, he separated the football from the would-be receiver, Cedric Phillips, in the first half. He made some nice collisions happen, but the Troy State offensive people, the skill people, have been able to hang on to the football.
This is a no-huddle spread offense that Troy State uses. They call the plays when they're lined up. Carter, the running back, alongside Nutter. 5 in the pattern. Nutter under some pressure, steps up, throws. Is it picked off on the deflection?
Yes,
Ed Reed has it. Ed Reed's going to take it to the house for a Miami touchdown. Second defensive score of the year for Miami, a 25-yard interception return by Edward Reed. That is his second INT of the season, number 14 of his career.
You talked about the All-American hit. How about this catch and concentration? We talked about Brock Nutter not turning the football over. Credit the pressure of the Miami defensive front from the edge. That's what made Brock Nutter step into the pocket and really throw a football he would like to have back. Terrific play that time by number 20, Edward Reed, the senior.
Todd Severs on to attempt the extra point, so 20 seconds gone in this third quarter, and Miami has another touchdown on the board via their defensive unit. Capshaw with the hold. Severs' conversion is good. 14:40 left to go third quarter, and Miami now leads it by a score of 24-7. There is Edward Reed, the senior out of St. Rose, Louisiana, with a touchdown on the defensive side for Miami. The Canes lead at 24-7 as we take another look at the deflection and the Ed Reed pick as Miami gets on the board early in the third. You're watching Big East football from ESPN Plus. A Edward Reed interception return for a touchdown, his second pick of the year, and his third career touchdown. He brought 2 back last year for scores, and John, the Hurricanes needed a turnover. They didn't get any in the first half. They got one there, and now they'll be kicking off with Day and Carter deep for Troy State.
It all starts for the defense up front. If they can create some pressure up front, the secondary players are so athletic, they can make plays at any moment.
And the ball falls off the tee, so Todd Severs will have to re-tee it. Severs done an excellent job this year on his kickoffs. That's an area he's vastly improved in since his freshman year.
And again, Frank, a lot of wind coming from the open side of the Orange Bowl. Severs should have no problem putting this football in the end zone.
Line drive kick. Carter way back. We'll watch it roll out of the end zone on one bounce. And let's take another look now from the sidelines on this interception.
Well, Frank, it all starts up front with pressure. Jerome McDougal from the edge creates pressure and really makes the quarterback step up and throw a ball he does not want to throw. And just an excellent shoestring catch by Edward Reed. Now it's all speed and athleticism to the outside. He didn't have an escort, but he didn't need one that time. Edward Reed goes in for the Miami defensive score.
And there was a similar play in the Pittsburgh game last week where they did not rule an interception for Edward Reed. It kind of hit the ground as he was trying to gather it in. But this one he picked clean off the shoe tops. 4 wide receivers in the formation on a 1st and 10 for Troy State. DeMontre Carter alongside Brock Nutter, the quarterback in the I formation. There's the give to Carter. Finds a little bit of a crease, coughed up the football, but again, Troy State falls on it. Trent Garman, the center, got it back and actually picked up an extra yard or 2, and it's a gain of 5.
Well, so far in this second half, Troy State has been trying to give the game away really to Miami. They're trying to make it out of hand at 24-7. As you said, alertly, Trent Garman, the center, on the recovery, but just a strip. Someone got a hand in, and then alertly the center picks up the fumble, or else another defensive turnover from Miami. That's about the 3rd forced fumble, I think, Frank, by the Miami defense today.
Exactly right, John. 3 fumbles by Troy State. They've gotten them all back. This time it's LeBaron Black. He runs into Matt Walters, manages to squeeze out a yard. Marquise Fitzgerald along with Andrew Williams helping out after Walters made the initial contact, and it'll be 3rd and 4 for Troy State.
Really the unsung hero up front, Matt Walters, the junior defensive tackle from Miami. 13 total tackles coming into the game. Black trying to run right over him, but Walters will have nothing to do with it.
3rd and 4 for Troy State. Here's Matt Walters, the big junior out of Melbourne, Florida. Get 4 wide receivers in the formation for the Trojans. Nutter's pass deflected by McDougal and falls incomplete. Well, the right tackle tried to cut McDougal, and McDougal did a great job, John, of keeping the block off him and getting his hands up.
McDougal kept the block of the tackle, looked like Brandon Hall, away from his knees and ankles, and really just went right beside him. You see 76, the right tackle, tried to make a cut block, but McDougal had enough athletic ability to get around him and get his hands up right in the face of Brock Nutter, the senior quarterback. Excellent 2 series, that series and the last series by this Miami defense.
Jeremy Schatz in to kick it away. The freshman from Birmingham, Alabama, Philip Buchanan, stands at the Miami 38-yard line.
And they're coming after the punt too, Frank.
Good snap, and they almost got there. Schatz goes down, flag goes down. Punt out of bounds at the Miami 45-yard line. They'll get Miami for running into the kicker. Only a 28-yard punt. Might have been Edward Reed. He had a shot right up the middle and just missed it. Well, that'll give Troy State a first down.
Running into the kicker on the defensive team. 5-yard penalty. It's enough for a first down.
It's a 5-yard penalty. Let's take a look from the end zone.
Someone breaks free, Frank, right up the middle. Right there, 27, Marquise Fitzgerald, and also 20, Edward Reed. But it was Fitzgerald that runs into the punter. Had a shot right up the middle, but just misses it. A good job by the punter to get it away for Troy State.
So Troy State with new life with 13:09 left to go in the third quarter. So it looked like Miami was going to go turnover, touchdown, and a 3-and-out on defense, but the penalty on special teams gives the ball back to Troy State. Miami defense really creating some momentum here in the second half. Let's see if they can sort of do it again on this redo for Troy State after the penalty. From the 30, Carter ducks up inside, picks up about 3 yards. Jamal Green there for the Hurricanes on defense to make the tackle, helped out by his middle linebacker, Jonathan Billman, number 51. Big Jamal Green, number 55, the senior out of Camden, New Jersey. Big East scores from out of town today. And, of course, Virginia Tech leading 21-0. That's early in the third quarter over West Virginia. Syracuse in a weird score in the third quarter, 11-5 over Rutgers. Later today, Pittsburgh will be at Notre Dame. From the 33-yard line, a 2nd and 8. Nutter under pressure, and we had whistle stop that play. The referee Penn Wager stopping play.
Looked like a timeout, Frank. Yeah, it looked like maybe number 3, Hayward Skipper, the wideout, called timeout right before the play started.
That is a timeout charged to Troy State, their first of the second half. 12:33 left to go in the third quarter. Hurricanes lead Troy State 24-7 here at the Orange Bowl. You are watching Big East football from ESPN Plus.
Put yourself in the hot seat of ESPN's 2-minute drill. Feel your heart pump and your adrenaline build as you race the clock. Now you can be in the hot seat at home. ESPN's 2-minute drill, the ultimate sports quiz show, comes to the PC with ESPN's 2-minute drill CD-ROM. Test your sports knowledge with host Kenny May and other ESPN personalities such as Rich Eisen, Tom Jackson, and Charlie Steiner. ESPN's 2-minute drill CD-ROM. Available wherever software is sold.
The yellow one is Pikachu. He's a Pokemon.
Then who is Digimon?
Thanks. Digimon is like a different group, wholly separate from the Pokemons.
Thanks for clarifying that.
Sure. Actually, Digimon means digital monsters.
Catfish. What a great arm. Who is that kid anyway?
Of course he's got a great arm, Buttermaker. He's the best athlete in the area. But you don't understand. That's Kelly Leak.
You guys talking about Kelly Leak?
Yeah.
That dude is a bad mother. Talking about a loan shark. I borrowed a nickel from him last week. He said if I can give him a dime by Friday, he'd break my arm.
That's su bandido.
Baseball tonight, every night at 10 and midnight on ESPN.
12:33 left to go third quarter. Miami with a 24-7 lead over Troy State as we return to play after the Troy State timeout. It's a 2nd and 8 for the Trojans from their 33-yard line. Nutter on a slight roll out to the left. Pressured by Williams. He got the throw away and short hops his wide receiver. Intended target was Tommy Vennessy. Big pressure from Andrew Williams forced the incompletion.
Andrew Williams, as you said, Frank, coming from the edge, and Miami's really turning up the heat on the fifth-year senior Brock Nutter. Really nowhere to feel comfortable in the pocket. Just gets lassoed down by the shoulder pads. You see big number 99, Andrew Williams, in, pressuring the quarterback. He's had 6 pressures coming into the game. He's been around Brock Nutter most of the afternoon.
3rd and 8. Miami with 2 sacks in the game so far today. Nutter, inside handoff to Carter. Carter is going to get the first down at the 40-yard line. Edward Reed trying to lasso him down, finally gets him down at the 45. Nicely designed play for Troy State on a 3rd and 8.
It's really what they need to do, Frank, against Miami's defense. They pursue so well. As you see, number 1, Carter walking off limping, but they pursue so well, does Miami's defense, that everybody's to the left side of the field except for 51, Jonathan Vilma. You see 20, Edward Reed coming in the picture. A high tackle only allows DeMontre Carter to really break that tackle and try to get more yards. He gets the first down with the ball up to the 45-yard line.
Gain of 12 for DeMontre Carter. 1st and 10 from the 45. Out of the I formation. Baron Black stuck at the line of scrimmage, no gain. Jonathan Vilma laying the smackdown. The sophomore out of Coral Gables High School came into the game with 14 tackles, 2 of those for losses, and he stopped that play cold.
Well, you mentioned it earlier, big shoes to fill for Jonathan Vilma, replacing the All-American Dan Morgan now with the Carolina Panthers, but also credit Matt Walters. It was Matt Walters low and Jonathan Vilma all over the ball carrier that time on 1st down.
Jonathan did not make a good play on the previous run by DeMontre Carter because that is his responsibility, Carter. 2nd and 10. Nutter throwing complete at the 50-yard line. Ball pops loose. Marquise Fitzgerald tries it. Now they're going to call it incomplete. They're going to call it incomplete as Marquise Fitzgerald forced it out of the hands of the wide receiver, Eric Felton.
The Canes right now on defense attacking the football, really more aggressive than the first half. Marquise Fitzgerald's been around the football and the football carrier all afternoon, that time making a big play to strip the football away from the would-be wide receiver.
3rd down for Troy State, 3rd and 10. They're 1 for 5 on 3rd down conversions this afternoon. Triple wide receiver to the right of the formation. Nutter against a 4-man rush, has plenty of time. Now pressure coming late, sacked by Marquise Fitzgerald. His 2nd sack of the year, the nickelback coming on the pressure. And once Nutter had to hold that ball a little bit longer, Marquise got there.
What happened on the outside, Hayward Skipper, number 3, the wideout, really broke free at the line of scrimmage, but broke off of his route and fooled his quarterback. Top of the screen, he wants to deliver the football, but the quarterback's fooled by what he sees, and all of a sudden he does not see number 27, Marquise Fitzgerald, coming in on the blitz. We talked about him, Frank. He's around the football all the time. That time shakes up the 5th-year senior quarterback.
I mentioned it was a 4-man rush. It was 3 defensive linemen plus Fitzgerald. Now shots again to kick it away. Philip Buchanan back at the Miami 26. And we have whistles before the snap is made. Don't know if the play clock ran out. It appeared it did.
Prior to the snap, delay of game on the offense. 5-yard
That's exactly
penalty.
what happened, Frank. And you see the frustration on the sidelines with Coach Blakeney trying to get his squad on the ball, and he wants to reset the clock, but the penalty's already been called, and they'll step off 5 against the Trojans.
So that'll bring it back to the 33-yard line. And shots will again line up in punt formation. Philip Buchanan leading the Big East with a 15.8-yard average on punt returns, including 1 touchdown. Shots kick into the wind, not very far. Hits at the 41-yard line and bounces backwards, touched at the 43 of Miami. And that's where the Canes will start 1st and 10, only a 24-yard punt from Jeremy Schatz. 10 minutes, 24 seconds left to go in the 3rd quarter. Hurricanes with a 24-7 lead over Troy State. Join us next week when Troy Nunes leads the Syracuse Orangemen into Pittsburgh to take on Antonio Bryant and the Pittsburgh Panthers. Join us next week at 12 noon. Check your local listings. Ball spotted at the 44-yard line of the Hurricanes. Najee Davenport of the Hurricanes has cramps, and it is reported that he will not return to today's game. Jared Payton in at fullback. Dorsey with play action on a 1st down. Down the middle, caught by Shockey, 33-yard line. first down for the Hurricanes. Nazir Yamini, the middle linebacker, had the coverage, but not enough to prevent the completion to Jeremy Shockey, a gain of 23.
Well, that's experience by the quarterback and the tight end going down the middle of the field. You couldn't really lead his tight end down the field because that's where the coverage was. He tried to slow him down in the hole with the throw, and that's great experience and great composure by Ken Dorsey as well as his tight end, Jeremy Shockey.
Andre Johnson and Ethnic Sands, the wide receivers for Miami. Payton and Portis in the eye behind Dorsey. Dorsey pump fakes. Looks back the other way and throws incomplete. Looking for Johnson on the out pattern at the 20-yard line. Freeman White had the coverage.
Dorsey had man-to-man coverage that time, Frank, wanting to go downfield, but ended up holding the ball and wasn't really set to throw the ball across his body from right to left. There you see his numbers, 16 of 28 for 241 and 2 touchdowns. And you see number 7 on the outside in the huddle, Ethnic Sand, saying, hey, they're going man-to-man, let's go deep. With 24-7, I would expect Ken Dorsey to attack the end zone one time in this series.
Only 44 yards rushing for the Canes in the first half. Dorsey with 5 in the pattern. Finds a wide open Clinton Portis at the 30, to the 20, and cut down at the 15-yard line. Rayshon Reed knocked the pins out from under Clinton Portis, but not before Portis had brought it down inside the 15-yard line to the 12, a 20-yard gain.
That's one way to get Clinton Portis into the football game. If you're not running it effectively, you can get him on a quick pass. This is really like a long handoff, just a 5-step drop, and it's only about a 5-yard pass. A nice, accurate throw gets Clinton Portis out of the cut on the run. Now watch him finish. That's what all great backs do, especially these Miami backs. You see them today finishing the runs or run after catch, lowering their head and getting as many yards as they can.
There's an injury for Troy State. Corey Sears, the outside linebacker, is down off the field of play at the Troy State 10-yard line. And he is being tended to by the training staff. So the Hurricanes getting also a little nicked up in this game. You got Davenport with cramps. Howard Clark with a sprained ankle. He's not returning today at the outside linebacker spot. Although in all truthfulness, the linebackers, aside from Vilma in the middle, are not playing much because Miami is going with a lot of nickel and dime against this spread offense. You got to feel for Sears, by the way, is up and walking off the field under his own power. You got to feel for a guy like Chris Campbell, who's a senior, the strong side linebacker. Right now, he's hardly played the last 2 games simply because of the offensive formations of the other teams. Hurricanes remaining home games. You see the schedule. That West Virginia game, by the way, is a Thursday night, October 25th. For ticket information on Hurricane football, contact the UM ticket office at 1-800-GO-CANES or purchase them online at www.hurricanesports.com. Corey Sears, a 6', 220-pound senior from Montgomery, Alabama, makes his way to the sideline. See where he took the hit, and apparently none the worse for wear, as you see him obviously under his own power.
Yeah, he
just got blocked late by Jason Gathers.
Exactly right. It looked like he was on the play, trying to make the tackle at the end of the play, and Corey Sears got hit from behind, it looked like, by Gathers, the wideout, working downfield.
1st and 10 from the 12. Robert Williams, the second tight end in motion. There's to get to Payton, the fullback. Jared Payton with a stiff arm. Another one. Tight ropes it down the sideline, and let's see where he stepped out. They're going to mark it about the 8, so a pickup of 4 by Jared Payton.
Looks like that Troy State defense wearing down a bit. A lot of arm tackles that time on the fullback. Jared Payton, he was able to stiff arm his way to the outside, shuffling to his left and trying to pick up some yards, but watch, nice block at the point of attack by Martin Bibla. A lot of arm tackles that Payton runs through, and you see his excitement on the outside. He wanted to get to the end zone, gets it down to about the 7-yard line.
2nd and 6. Miami's run 4 plays in the second half. They have 48 yards. Dorsey on the fade, knocked away, intended for Andre Johnson, flagged down. Derek Jackson had the coverage. They like Andre Johnson in that corner of the end zone because he's about 6'4" and close to 220. It is interference on Troy State.
And he goes up and gets the football and would look like a good play.
Against the defense.
Derek Jackson only 5'9", so height-wise, it is a mismatch, an automatic first down. Let's take another look at it.
That's exactly what you want. 5'9" Jackson going up against a 6'3" or 6'4" Andre Johnson. It looked like he made a good play on the ball, trying to swat the ball away.
Yeah, I think there might have been contact early because he made a good play on the ball once the ball arrived. The contact had to be early. First down from the 2-yard line. Give to Payton. Jared Payton with a touchdown for the Miami Hurricanes. The son of the late, great, legendary Walter Payton scores his 2nd touchdown of the year, and Miami has stretched their lead to 30-7.
little bit of a new wrinkle from Miami. You saw the tight end and running back to the left side, Jeremy Shockey and Clinton Portis, everybody going to the left side except for the fullback. A nice down block there by number 80, Robert Williams, who actually was the key to the play. Good offensive line surge, and Peyton goes in very easily up the middle of the field to push it to 30-7 Canes.
Sievers on for the conversion attempt, and it is good. 9 minutes and 13 seconds to go in the third quarter. It's now Miami 31, Troy State 7, a 5-play, 56-yard drive for the Canes. We'll take a timeout. You're watching Big East football from ESPN Plus. A look at Miami Beach, the crystal blue-green waters, and a gorgeous day here at the Orange Bowl. Got a little bit of cloud cover even over the stadium, as Miami now leads it 31-7 over the Trojans of Troy State. And Todd Sievers to kick it off once again. Miami's first 3 drives, John, today totaled 122 yards, a touchdown and a missed field goal, and they gave it up on downs. Their last 3 drives, they have 160 yards with 2 touchdowns and a field goal.
Yeah, and Peyton goes in from 2 yards. You see there Ken Dorsey talking on the sidelines of what they want to do offensively. Right now, the defense really turned the momentum of the game coming out of the second half, getting that interception by Edward Reed, and then Ken Dorsey taking him down and Peyton sticking it in from the 2-yard line.
Here's Sievers' kickoff. DeMontre Carter, 7 yards deep, and he's going to try it. Big mistake. Jarrell Weaver knocked him down at the 4-yard line with a little help from his twin brother, number 21, Jermel. But Jarrell Weaver, number 58, the backup weak side linebacker. You talk about these kids on special teams. The Miami coaches say that if Weavers go downfield like their hair's on fire.
Yeah, that's right. They were coming down, and Jarrell Weaver, 58, blazing down the middle of the football field for that Canes special teams.
So Troy State will start at their own 4-yard line. Jarrell will stay in the game, as Troy State will go with the regular backfield. They have a fullback and a tight end in the game. So Chris Campbell, 48, and Jarrell Weaver, 58, will be in the game at the outside linebacker spots. And as I mentioned, they've had limited play in the last 2 games simply because of the type of offense that the opponents have been running. That spread offense forces you to go with 5 and 6 defensive backs. Chris Cox and DeMontre Carter are now a flag down in the end zone from our referee Penn Wagers, and he's counting bodies.
That's true. They might have 13 out there.
Well, that'll be half the distance. Put it back on the 2-yard line. Miami scoring drive, by the way, as Larry Blakeney looks on. I'll get that in a minute.
Prior to the snap, illegal substitution on the offensive team, half the distance to the goal, replay first down.
The Miami scoring drive, 6 plays, 56 yards, 1 minute and 11 seconds, capped off by the Jared Payton 2-yard touchdown run. That's the 8th penalty on Troy State today for 44 yards.
Tough spot for Troy State's offense, or any offense, to start on your own 1-yard line, especially the way Miami's defensive front has really been turning up the heat.
2 tight ends in the game for Troy State and an eye in the backfield. Give to the fullback. Cox, he's stacked up right at the goal line. Tremendous penetration by the Miami defense. Looked like William Joseph, number 94, and Matt Walters, 91, the 2 defensive tackles.
You see the frustration of the Miami defense coming out in the first half, really not being able to stop the offensive pursuit, but that time, just a great pursuit to the football. 94, 91, Joseph and Walters respectively in on the stop.
Play actually lost a half a yard. 2nd and 11. Carter, and again William Joseph stops him for no gain. Big number 94, William Joseph, the junior, a hometown guy from Miami Edison High School. He is a load at that defensive tackle spot.
Frank, what makes Miami's defensive front so tough to block, yes, they're big and strong, but they're so quick and agile. They come off of blocks as Rodney Jordan trying to block big number 94, William Joseph, down. He's just strong enough to stay on the block and then make the tackle at the same time. It's just incredible how fast and agile the Miami front 7 really are.
3rd and 13. Remember, they had the 2-yard penalty for illegal substitution before the first down play. So it's 3rd and 13. Nutter gives to Carter. Carter got to the 5-yard line. Jonathan Vilma there on the tackle for the Hurricanes from his middle linebacker spot, helped out by James Lewis, the safety. And it'll be a punting situation for Troy State. So just trying to get their punter, Jeremy Schatz, a little bit of room. 7:28 left to go, third quarter. Darryl Jones in to return the punt for Miami as Jeremy Schatz backed up on the end line, awaiting the snap. Troy State with 15 yards of total offense in this second half. All of those on the ground.
Which is a total contrast to what they tried to do to open the game, spreading the football field out and throwing the football.
And now we have whistles from the back judge, and the play clock ran out. That's the second time that has happened in punt formation.
It's going to hurt their special teams because that ball is going to be inside the 5, probably around the 3 or 2 yard line.
Delay of game. Offensive team, half the distance to the goal. Replay, 4th down.
Well, obviously, if you're a Troy State fan, that just shouldn't happen, to delay a game in a punting situation. Now Schatz has 2 yards less to work with. He got it away, and a pretty good kick. Darryl Jones had it at Troy State 44. Gets one block, heads back the other way.
He's got a wall.
And he steps out of bounds at the 43-yard line of Troy State. So only a yard on the return after a 41-yard punt by Jeremy Schatz. 6:52 left to go third quarter. Miami leading Troy State 31-7. Here's some scores from the ESPN USA Today Top 25. Virginia Tech is now a 4-touchdown leader over West Virginia. Tennessee and Georgia, a good one. That in the third quarter. Maryland, a 10-point lead over Virginia early in the third. Purdue leading Iowa by 6. That is in the third quarter. K-State trailing Colorado 7-0 at halftime. South Carolina trying to remain undefeated. They're up by 4 touchdowns on Kentucky at the half. And Duke trailing Georgia Tech by 10. That's late in the second quarter. 1st and 10 from the 43. This is Kyle Kobia, the fullback, with a rare carry. Picked up a yard. And it will be 2nd and 9 for the Hurricanes. Of course, starting with good field position. Shelton Felton, number 99, making the tackle, along with number 92, Vernon Marable, for the Troy State defense. Kyle Kobia, a redshirt freshman out of Lakeland, Florida. Now seeing some work as Najee Davenport left the game in the first half with some cramps, and it's been Jarrett Payton and Kobia sharing the fullback spot since then. On 2nd down, pitch to McGahee. And that play's going nowhere. It'll be a loss of a yard. Number 48, Ben Waldrop, along with Corey Sears, number 4, making the tackle. And it'll be 3rd and 10 for the Hurricanes.
Great pursuit that time by the linebacker, the senior out of Pensacola, Ben Waldrop. Good job finding the ball carrier in the backfield. Really bringing up a 3rd and around 11 yards now, Frank, for the Miami offense.
Miami's last 3 drives, the average field position was the Troy State 49. This one started at the 43. On 3rd and 11. Dorsey going for the sideline. Ethnic Sands, the catch at the 25. Ethnic Sands inside the 10. Finally run out of bounds by Freeman Whites. What a throw by Dorsey. Dropped that in between 2 defenders, John. That was a tremendous throw.
That was a terrific throw. The best throw he's made all afternoon. He drops it right in between Harper and White. Ken Dorsey really going for the gusto this time. Had some receivers open, looking right the whole way, snaps his head left, and then drops it in the bucket right over the top of 15 Harper. And it looked like White made the tackle, number 24, the cornerback, and he saves the touchdown. But it was Ethnic Sands, great concentration. Then he had the awareness to turn it upfield down the sidelines. That'll get the ball inside the 10, down to the 7.
Dorsey with 299 yards passing today. Looking for his 3rd 300-yard game of the year on 1st down from the 7. This is McGahee. McGahee following Brett Romberg and his fullback Kobia, and scores the touchdown from 7 yards away.
You called it. Following Brett Romberg and his fullback Kobia out front. Miami stretching out Troy State. Really, Troy State looking a little bit tired and worn on defense right now. Miami's offense turning it up. McGahee up top, goes to the outside. Watch the Miami offense just push the white jerseys backwards. It's a picket line. Really, nobody touches number 2, the freshman Willis McGahee. He goes in for his 2nd touchdown of the season.
And Todd Severs on again to attempt the conversion. 5:27 left to go in this third quarter. And Miami has blown it open. Severs out of the Freddie Capshaw hold, and the Chris Harvey snap puts it up and through. And with 5 minutes and 27 seconds left to go in this third quarter, it is all of a sudden a 38-7 Miami lead. Miami up only 17-7 at the half, but they have exploded in this third quarter with 3 touchdowns. And here is the last one from Willis McGahee.
It was all set up by Ken Dorsey's pass. the play before, but just a great job by the offensive line and the fullback Kyle Kobia of getting out in front of the young tailback for Miami. You see the congratulations on the sidelines to be had by all, the wave to mom in the crowd. He's very happy about getting in the end zone. But Ken Dorsey, as you said, Frank, 299 yards passing. He's been barely put on the Orange Bowl carpet or grass today. Hasn't been touched. You see the scoring drive, 4 plays, 43 yards, only a minute 25 off the clock. McKahee goes in from 7 yards out.
The big play in this third quarter on the first possession, Brock Nutter was picked off by Edward Reed, who returned to 27 yards for a touchdown, and that just seemed to turn the momentum Miami's way because they have followed it up with 2 offensive touchdown drives while the defense has gotten control of this Troy State offense. So a big third quarter so far by the Hurricanes. We still have 5:27 left to go in the third, and Todd Severs will again kick it off. You look at decisions that players make in a game. On the last kickoff, Demontre Carter tries to run it out from 7 yards deep, gets nailed at the 4-yard line. That Hurricane defense makes the stop, and Miami starts their drive inside Troy State territory.
Yeah, and it puts Brock Nutter in a really terrible situation, trying to come out in the shadow of his goalpost and move it 90-some yards to go against this Miami defense. They did that job in the first half, but the second half, Miami's defense really turning it up a notch.
Miami with 93 total yards offense in the second half, working on a shorter field and 21 points. Troy State has 15 yards and no points. Again, a deep kickoff actually hits the crossbar and goes through into the crowd. Todd Seaver showing some leg with a bit of a wind behind him, maybe about 10 miles an hour. I'm Frank Fort alongside John Congemi as we bring you Big East football from ESPN Plus at the Orange Bowl, Miami, Florida. Troy State taking on the #1 ranked Miami Hurricanes, and we have a flag down on the field at the 22-yard line, and it's going to be against Miami. So something happened during the kickoff coverage.
After their play, personal foul against Miami, 15-yard penalty from the 20-yard line, automatic first down.
Well, that's something that will not make Larry Coker happy. He talked about aggressive penalties and then stupid penalties, and that's after the play, as you see him discussing it with one of the officials. After the play, taking a personal foul penalty on a touchback on a kickoff. There's just no reason to do it. Now, maybe a kid takes a cheap shot, but you know what? You've got to keep your head and retain your temper. From the 35 on an option. Pitch out to Carter. Carter will pick up 5 or 6 yards to the 40-yard line. John Square, number 93, seeing his first action today in on the tackle, along with Edward Reed, the safety.
Been impressed by Carter and Black, both of the running backs for Troy State. You see 93 going down Square, going down the line of scrimmage, but Edward Reed from that safety spot, it's his responsibility to fill on the option. But been impressed with the tough running of both number 33, LeBaron Black, and number 1, Demontre Carter.
Well, Demontre Carter started his career at Auburn. Spent 2 years there and played. He had a 100-yard rushing game against Alabama. He had about 800 yards rushing one season. So he's a quality back. On 2nd and 5, Nutter steps up, throws in and out of the hands of his wide receiver, Demontre Carter. Carter coming out of the backfield. We'll bring up a 3rd and about 4.
Frank, the biggest thing you know about Brock Nutter from the first half to the second half, the first half, there wasn't a lot of pressure on him, and he had enough time to set his feet, stand in tall, and throw the football. In this second half, Miami's defensive front 7 has really put enormous amount of pressure on Brock Nutter, and he hasn't felt comfortable coming out from halftime.
Troy State has to reach their own 45 for a first down. Nutter out of the shotgun on the 3rd down play. Quick step, drop, throw complete to Hayward Skipper, but he might be about a yard shy of a first down. Where they're going to mark it, it's going to be about a football shy of a first down. They marked him close to the 45.
I think he is short of the first down. Probably he needed to get that football touching the 45 to make it a first down. Looks like they'll go for it on 4th down.
Rodney Jordan late coming onto the field at left guard. This is a 4th and about a foot. Nutter sneaking. Not sure he got it. Let's see where the linesman marks it. He's got it marked at the 45. Nutter stuck the football out, and where they're marking it, it is a first down. He stuck the football out over the pile, and that got him the first down.
Yeah, it looked like that ball may have touched the 45-yard line, and if it did, it's a first down. We'll take a look right there. You see the football go up, and then he takes it away. It was a great play by Jonathan Vilma trying to time up the leap to meet Brock Nutter right at the top. Watch this right here. He sticks the football out, and then all of a sudden 51 and 75 as well in there with Vince Wilfork trying to stop him from the first down, but he does get enough yardage for the first down.
3:53 left to go, third quarter. Nutter out of the shotgun with a roll to the left side. Now coming back the other way. Throws and in and out of the hands of his wide receiver Samples, Jason Samples, as Philip Buchanan had the coverage at the Miami 45-yard line. Would have been a tough catch for Samples.
Yeah, tough catch for Jason Samples trying to go across his body, but that was the only spot Brock Nutter could put the football. Enormous amount of pressure play side. He decided to slide right. Made a good decision and a good throw, but just better coverage that time by the Miami secondary.
2nd and 10 for Troy State from their 45-yard line. 3 wide receivers spread out to the left side of the formation, the upper left corner of your screen. Carter, the running back, beside Nutter in the shotgun formation. And a fake shovel pass, and John Square takes down Brock Nutter for a big loss of 9.
Brock Nutter that time took the lesser of two evils. He wanted the shovel pass out in front to number 1, Carter, but it looked like they had that play snuffed out. Might have been broken up or an interception, so he decides to keep the football. Watch to the inside. Carter will be to his inside, but John Square right there didn't want a chance fumbling the football. That was a smart play, but an even better play on the edge by John Square.
4th sack for the Hurricanes today. They came into the game with only 6 in 3 games. Now, these spread offenses, it's very difficult to get sacks because they're designed to get rid of the football and avoid sacks. So it's 3rd and 18 for Troy State. Nutter with a blitz on from Fitzgerald. Nutter steps up and throws long. And big collision, and penalty flags come flying in. And Mike Rumpf made a bad play there. He had plenty of safety help and instead shoved the wide receiver into his safety, Ed Reed, who could have had an interception. Make it James Lewis.
That was just a good old-fashioned mugging down the Troy State sideline, Frank, by number 8, Michael Rumpf. I think he looked up and couldn't find the football and then just ran into the wide receiver.
Pass interference against the defensive team. 15-yard penalty. Previous spot. Automatic. First down.
I'm not quite sure if Michael Rumpf found the football, but he did see that the receiver was closing in on it and just mistimed it. Any way you look at it, it was just a mugging on the sideline. It's the only way you could really describe it, and it'll end up being a first down for Troy State.
Yeah, he cost Ed Reed an interception. Ed had that ball all lined up, and Rumpf shoved the receiver, Chris Day, right into Reed.
Ed looked like he was playing center field, waiting for the can of corn to come down, and Michael Rumpf ended up knocking him into the football.
So it'll be a first down at the Miami 48-yard line. 2:52 left to go here in the third quarter. Miami up 38-7. High in the backfield behind Nutter. Option, pitch to Carter. Carter chased by John Square, who makes the tackle, but it's a gain of 8 for DeMontre Carter. Let's take a look at the comparison here. Brock Nutter, 13 out of 17 in the first half, but in the second, only 1 out of 8, including that big interception by Ed Reed.
Yeah, he did what he wanted to do in the first half, really spread the football out, spread the field out, made Miami adjust to them, and then had no pressure really standing in the pocket and throwing. Now he's been under duress the entire third quarter.
Call it a gain of 7. It's 2nd and 3. Nutter on an option right. Again, the pitch to Carter. Carter cannot turn the corner. James Lewis made the play back at the 44-yard line. That'll go as a loss of 2.
Maybe went to the well one too many times that time because Miami has excellent team speed, and I'm not sure, I really don't care how fast you are. Miami's team speed will beat you sideline to sideline. Really not many teams in the country that can compare with the team speed, especially defensively, that Miami has. And number 23 that time, James Lewis, coming up, making a big play behind the line of scrimmage. It'll be 3rd and 4 for the Troy State Trojan offense.
They gave him progress to the 42, although that seems very generous to me. It'll be 3rd and 4, as John mentioned. 1:35 to go here in the third quarter. Troy State spreading it out. Chad Lucas, the lone wide receiver, to the right of the formation, bottom of your screen. Nutter gives to LeBaron Black, and he is buried. Jerome McDougal and Jonathan Vilma, there to make the play for no gain.
Little misdirection that time on 3rd down by Troy State. That time everybody's staying at home on the defensive front, especially at linebacker Jonathan Vilma coming up and making the big hit on LeBaron Black.
That's a play that they burned Miami on in the first half. This time, the Miami defense was up to the task. Jeremy Schatz will kick it away, standing at his own 41-yard line. Edward Reed backs up inside the Miami 20 to return the kick. And Schatz shanks. This ball will be hitting inside the Miami 25 and out about the 24-yard line. They'll mark it. A punt of only 20 yards from Jeremy Schatz. We have 40 seconds left to go here in the third quarter. Miami with the football and leading 38-7. Let's take a look at our wideout of the week, brought to you by Polaris. It's not just a sled, it's a priority. And our wideout of the week, Malik Campbell of the Syracuse Orangemen. Last week, 3 catches and a touchdown against East Carolina in a 44-30 win by the Syracuse Orangemen. Malik Campbell, our Polaris wideout of the week. New quarterback for the Canes, it's Derek Crudup. Starting the drive at the 24-yard line to give to Frank Gore. And Frank Gore, the true freshman out of Coral Gables, gets it up to the 34-yard line, picks up 9 yards on the first down carry.
There you see Crudup, hometown Deerfield Beach, went to Deerfield Beach High School. The freshman, 6'1", 202, will get some valuable experience. He's only attempted 3 passes. He'll have a full quarter to play, and that's very valuable when you're trying to get maturity at the quarterback position.
Kyle Kobia is the fullback. They gave Gore progress to the 35-yard line, so that'll make it a first down. Crudup with play action. Now he's going to pull it down and still looking to throw. Fires downfield for Jason Gathers, but overthrew him at the 35-yard line of Troy State. Rashawn Reed and Freeman White had the coverage. Pretty good ad-libbing there by Derek Crudup, who is a very mobile and athletic quarterback.
He's got a lot of speed. He's got good mobility, as you said, Frank, and that time just trying to get the experience of when things break down and don't go according to plan, he's got to try to find somebody down the field. It looked like he had his fullback, Kobier, but he blended in with the Miami sidelines. He never really could focus in on him.
11 seconds remaining here in the third quarter. 2nd and 10. Frank Gore with the football. Gore to the 40, to the 42-yard line. Number 24, Freeman White making the tackle for Troy State. It's a pickup of a little more than 6 yards, and it'll be 3rd and 4 for Miami. And when we begin the fourth quarter, we have reached the end of 3 periods at the Orange Bowl, and it is Miami 38, Troy State 7. A big third quarter for the Hurricanes. You're watching Big East football from ESPN Plus. After one, only a 10-point lead for the Canes at halftime, and a big third quarter with Miami scoring 3 touchdowns. The Edward Reed interception return being the key play, really kind of a backbreaker as it looks right now for Troy State. There's the numbers through 3 quarters, and Troy State really has possessed the football and shortened up the game like they wanted to, but Miami in control. As we start the fourth, this is a 3rd and 4 play. Crudup under pressure, and Crudup gets away. Derek Crudup looking for a target. He's got Robert Williams, but he couldn't get the ball there at the 25-yard line. Rashawn Reed was in coverage, but he was trailing Williams by a good 5 or 6 yards.
Well, there's an example of big and strong and inexperience all in the same time. Just a terrific job by Derek Crudup trying to get away from the would-be tacklers in the backfield. And then he had a wide-open Robert Williams looking for his first catch of the season, which would have been a touchdown, and he couldn't get the ball out long enough to him. And he's disappointed, but he had that opportunity, just didn't make the play.
So the first punt today from Freddie Capshaw of the Hurricanes. Hayward Skipper back to receive for Troy State. Freddie's kick into the wind is a good one. High. Skipper bobbled it, lost it. And it looks like the Canes have it, but a flag down. They might have violated the 2-yard halo. Jarrell Weaver coming away with the football. But I think this is going to be an interference penalty on Miami. Interference with the opportunity to catch the punt.
I think you're exactly right, Frank.
A 39-yard punt from Freddie Capshaw. And this will cost the Hurricanes 5 yards. It is interference with the opportunity to catch the punt. And so Troy State will retain possession. There's the call from Penn Wagers.
Kick catching interference against the kicking team. 5-yard penalty from the spot where the man entered. Automatic first down.
So we have a timeout on the field. 14:40 left to go in the ball game. It's Miami 38, Troy State 7. You're watching Big East football from ESPN Plus.
You gotta have fun. A little bit of celebrating does not bother me.
The game itself is fun. These are great athletes playing the game of football. That's a celebration. That's fun.
That's because you ain't got no rhythm, man.
It's about individuality, Chris.
It's called professional football. Act like a professional.
Stop talking about professional and organized and disciplined. They're kids. Let the kids have some fun. We'll show you some fun.
Oh, no, he didn't. No, he didn't.
Hi, I'm Jeff Kent, and I'm here to talk about ESPN the magazine. You know, when they first asked me to do this, I was pretty excited. They could have had just about any athlete. So to choose me is really something. It's humbling to be able to give something back. So all you young players out there, listen up. ESPN the magazine is only $1 an issue. They'll even throw in a free fleece.
That's right, Jeff. When you call 1-800-504-6644, you'll get 26 issues for just $1 an issue. So call 1-800-504-6644.
Thanks for listening to me.
The games will come to an end this weekend, but that doesn't mean you have to leave the worldwide leader in sports at home. Because the news, interviews, and analysis from your favorite ESPN personalities continues all day, every day on over 600 radio stations nationwide. Check your local listings to find the ESPN radio station near you. ESPN Radio. Take it with you.
Coach's room. Nice.
And we're back.
College Game Day, presented by Discover Card. Saturday mornings at 10:30 on ESPN.
Back at the Orange Bowl, Miami, Florida, 14:40 left to play. Miami leads Troy State by a score of 38-7. And Troy State will also go with a new quarterback here in the fourth quarter. There's Ken Dorsey. His day is done. Standing next to his backup, Derek Crudup. And here's your game summary, brought to you by Beck's Beer. Brock Nutter from Troy State, 14 out of 25, 152, a touchdown and a big pick. Ken Dorsey, a couple of touchdown passes. 4 fumbles by Troy State, but they haven't lost any of them. And Miami has scored the last 31 points in this game. Brock Nutter on the sideline. His day appears to be done. Hansel Bearden, a redshirt freshman from Cairo, Georgia, now running the show for Troy State. He's got an eye in the backfield. And the give to his tailback, Betterson, and he was met by Marquise Fitzgerald, and then Ken Dangerfield, number 47, along with Andrew Williams, 99, in there to finish it off.
Well, Frank, you can point to a lot of guys on this defensive field from Miami as you take a look at the freshman Bearden, the quarterback in for Troy State, but Marquise Fitzgerald's been a guy around the football the entire afternoon for Miami. You could talk about McDougal and William Joseph and Williams and Matt Walters, but Marquise Fitzgerald's done an excellent job. You see him in the middle of your screen there, number 27, the defensive back for Miami.
2nd and 10 for Troy State. Bearden out of the shotgun. 4-man rush for Miami. Bearden completes it to Betterson. He's bumped out of bounds by Phillip Buchanan after a pickup of about 3 or 4 yards. Miami still with the starting defensive backfield in there. And they've gone all day pretty much with 5 and 6 defensive backs.
Yeah, Jonathan Vilma really the only one, number 51 in the entire football game. You take a look at Ken Dangerfield. He's in the football game now at the linebacker spot that was held down by number 51, Jonathan Vilma.
This will be a 3rd and 6 play from the Troy State 32. Bearden out of the shotgun on the rollout. He throws, deflected by Mike Rumpf and nearly intercepted by Mike Rumpf. Looking for his first pick of the season, and that ball went right through his hands. Chris Day, the intended receiver, and it'll bring up a punting situation. Mike, the senior from Delray Beach. And I'm sure he's telling himself, man, that was tailor-made. That was on a platter.
He read it the whole way. It was a great break on the football. Bearden attempting his 15th pass of the season of his young career. And number 8, Michael Rumpf, wanted to get his first pick of the season.
13-18 left to play. It's a 38-7 Miami lead. Jeremy Stotts into punt. And Whistle stopped this play as Schatz kicks it anyway, as he should do. And again, is this a delay a game on a punt situation? Or an illegal substitution? Let's see what Ben Wagers and his crew come up with. It's a legal substitution on Miami. I think this would still leave Troy State short of a first down.
It looked like Edward Reed was confused on the field whether to go onto the field or come off the field.
Prior to the snap, illegal substitution on the defensive team, 5-yard penalty.
So they'll mark off 5, and they may even have to measure to see if this is a first down. And it looks like it's going to be a little bit short. So Jeremy Schatz will again line up in punt formation. Penalties for Miami, only 1 in the first half for 5 yards. They have 8 for 41 here in the second half. 13-18 to go in this football game. Frank Fort along with John Congemi. As we bring you Big East football, the Miami Hurricanes trying to defend their home turf against Troy State. A newcomer to Division I this year. Good snap, Shots with a low end-over-end kick. Jones trying to track it down. He's just going to let it roll, and it will go dead inside the Miami 5-yard line. Downed at the 3. So not a pretty kick, but an effective one from Jeremy Schatz. We have 13 minutes exactly left to play here in the fourth quarter at the Orange Bowl. It's Miami 38, Troy State 7. You're watching Big East football from ESPN Plus.
You know, athletes are pretty well known for their superstitions, but I got to be honest, our guys can be pretty quirky too.
How was your show, Kenny?
You too. There was this one time Brian had a great show, didn't bathe for 17 days straight.
This year, though, it's been a very different story.
The worst had to be when Dan spilled clam chowder, Manhattan clam chowder, all over Reese. Had his best show ever. Of course, that got old for Reese really quickly.
Yeah.
He's in makeup.
Okay. Hey, Boilermaker.
Yeah?
Got my curve breaking 2.5 feet.
Oh, yeah? Then you have been practicing, huh? But don't give me no baloney about a curve breaking 2.5 feet, though.
For how much?
$10?
Make it 20.
We got a bet.
Baseball tonight, every night at 10 and midnight on ESPN.
Look at me, I'm a footballer.
Feels so free inside. Kirk, look, it's you and me.
I have to go. I'm sorry.
It's you and me, Kirk.
I'm a football. Look at me.
And we're back.
College Game Day, presented by Discover Card. Saturday mornings at 10:30 on ESPN.
13 minutes left to go here in the fourth quarter at the Orange Bowl. Miami leads Troy State 38-7. Let's take a look now at our best play of the game, brought to you by Advance Auto Parts. The best part is our people, and it came very early in the third quarter.
Yeah, Jerome McDougal with pressure at first, and then number 20, Edward Reed, the senior, everybody's All-American, with a shoestring catch for the interception, goes in to really change the momentum and the tide of this game. Coming out right after halftime, the Miami Hurricanes did an excellent job coming out after Larry Coker had some probably inspirational words for him at halftime. They come out, and the defense set the tone, set up by that play by Edward Reed.
Edward Reed interception, our Advance Auto Parts play of the game. Miami will have it 1st and 10 at their 3-yard line after the 60-yard punt from Jeremy Schatz. Derek Crudup, the quarterback. He's got Jared Payton and Willis McGahee behind him. This is Payton with the football. Got only a yard. Number 45, Jimmy McLean, making the tackle for the Troy State defense. It'll be 2nd and 9.
Got some substitutions up front, Frank. It looks like number 60, Vernon Carey, in for Joaquin Gonzalez, and Haji Razuli, number 74, the starting left guard, out with some ice on his shoulder, and looks like they've made some substitutions along the entire front.
Yeah, the whole second unit in there right now. Joe Fonagrassi at right guard, Joel Rodriguez at center, Ed Wilkins at left guard, and Carlos Joseph at the left tackle. Give him a gain of 2 on 1st down for Jared Payton. This is a 2nd and 8 play. And this is Willis McGahee with the football. And McGahee gets out close to the 10-yard line. Ben Waldrop making the tackle from his middle linebacker spot for Troy State. And it'll bring up 3rd and 4 for the Hurricanes as we approach the 12-minute mark here in the fourth quarter. Derek Crudup and the number 2 offensive unit gaining some experience here on the snaps. You mentioned Vernon Carey, number 60 right there, John. He is one large human being, 346 pounds, a sophomore from Miami Northwestern High School, a load of talent. His problem or question mark has always been stamina. On 3rd down, McGahee. McGahee with a good burst, and he'll pick up a 1st down across the 20 to the 23-yard line. DeMarcus Ware, number 94, and Derek Ansley, number 10, combining to make the tackle for Troy State, but McGahee will move the chains.
Good tough running by Willis McGahee. Looked like he was going to lose his footing and maybe not keep his footing to get the 1st down, but that time he exploded through the offensive line and through the defensive front 7 that time. Watch him in the backfield. He loses his footing just when he gets the football there, tries to cut it back up the field, and following 60 and 34, Payton, the fullback, has enough yards for the 1st down.
A gain of 12 for Willis McGahee. 1st and 10 Hurricanes at their own 22. Again, McGahee with the football behind a Peyton block. He'll pick up 2 or 3 yards. Number 93, Jose Gamboa, a junior out of Crestview, Florida, one of 13 Floridians on this Troy State roster, making the tackle after a gain of 3. So, John, a big second half here by the Hurricanes, what I call TCB, taking care of business, which they needed to do against Troy State. Obviously, that first half not as sharp as they would want to be, and the scoreline probably a bit surprising to most people around the country. But Miami has stretched it out here in the second half against Larry Blakeney's crew. On 2nd and 7. Crudup firing complete to Jason Gathers with the leaping catch at the 34-yard line, and he goes down right there. That'll be enough for a Miami first down. Derek Jackson had the coverage.
Oh, credit Gathers by going up, climbing the ladder to catch this football. Just a hook route to the inside, does a nice job getting inside. Now watch him fight the football, come back and just get upstairs. Great concentration and a great security of the football. It'll have enough yards, looks like, for a first down, but great concentration on the catch.
Jason Gathers is as good an athlete as you will find on this Miami team. He's got a tremendous body, a great build for a wide receiver, about 6'5", 215. Crudup with a first down throw, and again it's complete. This time it is Ethnic Sands out to the 46-yard line where Derek Ansley makes the tackle, a gain of 11, and another Miami first down.
A little rhythm now for number 18, the freshman quarterback Derek Crudup, coming in, completing back-to-back passes, both on the curl routes. That latter one to Sands, Ethnic Sands, who made the conversion from a quarterback last year, does a nice job going down, pushing down the defenders, and coming back to the football to help his young quarterback.
Well, Derek Crudup is a tremendous athlete, as we've already seen in this game. There are people around Miami program that will tell you he actually has a stronger arm than Ken Dorsey. Now, of course, Ken's big advantage is he's got the experience and the ability to read the game as well as any quarterback in the country. On first down, McGahee to the 50-yard line, tripped up, or he might have gone the distance. He picked up 4. I think he was looking end zone on that play, and somebody either got a hand in there or he just tripped on his own.
It looked like he tripped over his fullback that time, Jared Payton, number 34. Let's take another look. McGahee going off right tackle, and it looked like he just got caught up. If he picks up his feet, he might score. Let's see, it might be Wilkins or, no, it was number 34, Jared Payton trying to kick out block. Wilkins was inside. Payton trying to kick out on the outside, and Payton will turn back and say, hey, pick up your feet, and McGahee will say, hey, get out of my way.
2nd and 6 at midfield for Miami. Give to McGahee, and this time he's buried for a loss of a yard. Number 72, Osi Umenyiora, making the tackle, and that'll bring up 3rd and 8 for Miami with 8:54 left to go here in the 4th quarter. We are at the Orange Bowl in Miami, Florida. A crowd of 36,617 on hand. I'm Frank Fort along with John Congemi as we bring you Big East football action here on ESPN Plus. The Canes with a big 3rd quarter, taking this game by the throat really in the 3rd quarter. And they have a comfortable 38-7 lead with 8.5 minutes left to go.
I'd like to go to the tight end in this young combination, Kellen Winslow into the game at tight end.
Crudup, straight drop back. Down the middle, and you mentioned it, Kellen Winslow, but he couldn't hang on, John. You had it called right. And Crudup took a shot after the pass. It'll be 4th down for the Hurricanes. Throw was on target.
Yeah, a lot of pressure, though, and it was on target. It was nice presence by the quarterback to stand in, knowing he was going to get hit by the defensive line or linebackers. And one thing at quarterback, you don't like to get hit, but then have that big body fall right on top of you and lose your lid all in one hit. So that's a valuable experience gained, and you don't want to gain too many of those experiences.
Skipper signals fair catch and makes it at the 8-yard line on the Freddie Capshaw punt. A nice punt into the wind by Freddie Capshaw. We have 8 minutes and 12 seconds left to go. A 43-yard punt by Capshaw. Miami leads at 38-7. You're watching Big East football from ESPN Plus.
A great slugger we haven't got.
A great pitcher we haven't got.
A great ball club we haven't got.
What have we got? We've got heart. All you really need is heart. When the odds are saying you'll never win, that's when the grin should start.
Now you're getting the idea.
Baseball tonight, every night at 10 and midnight on ESPN.
Monday Night Football, they brought in Dennis Miller, so we decided to give our show a little shot in the arm.
So while Serena sits at home with an injury, Venus Williams is advancing the finals.
Tennis racket! Yeah! NCAA basketball, big dance.
And you always have to try new things. You always got to tinker with it, make it better.
The Bulls basketball, look. Why?
you know what? It's a very subjective thing.
Next Sports Center, 1 hour from now with Carrot Top. I'm Carl Ravitch. Thanks for watching, folks.
Woo! Smart! I'm Dan Patrick here in the ESPN Radio Chopper. Radio marketing is all about promotions. That's why we're blanketing the country with these ESPN radio bats. We've got live sporting events. We've got call-in shows. You can log on to ESPNradio.com and find out more about stations in your area. Or you can listen online. So tune in. And if you happen to catch one of these bats, enjoy!
This game is brought to you by Beck's, the official beer of Oktoberfest. Citgo. At Citgo, we enjoy football as much as you do. Citgo, we know you. By Polaris, it's not just a sled, it's a priority. And by the United States Army, an army of one. 8 minutes and 12 seconds left to go here in the football game from the Orange Bowl. Miami with a 38-7 lead over Troy State. Trojans will start 1st and 10 from their 8-yard line. Hensel Bearden, the quarterback, with Chris Cox and DeWitt Betterson set behind him in an I formation. Betterson with the football, has a crease. The 20. And he'll get close to the 25-yard line, carrying a whole pile of defenders. They'll mark it at the 27, a gain of 19 for DeWitt Betterson, a 6-foot, 210-pound freshman from Stark, Florida. Maurice Sykes had to make the tackle for Miami.
Betterson that time, number 9, as you said, Frank, the freshman tailback, hits the hole with authority, takes the ball all the way across the 25, close to the 27-yard line.
Second unit defense in there for Miami. First and 10 from the 27. Chris Campbell is the lone linebacker in the Miami defense at the moment. Again, Betterson. Jamel Weaver takes him down at the 31-yard line. Gain was 3. The 2nd and 7 for Troy State. 7.5 minutes and the clock moving here in the Orange Bowl. So it will be a Miami victory and a comfortable one, although not the big blowout that perhaps many of their fans anticipated.
Yeah, you're right, Frank. They did what they needed to do coming out after halftime. I think they established the pace of the game with their defense, and Ken Dorsey led the offense. The running game really wasn't in sync today in the beginning in the first half, and Ken Dorsey led the charge through the air.
Again, Betterson gets around to the outside, and Jamel Weaver again has to make the tackle. But it's a first down at the 40-yard line of Troy State. Let's take a look around the rest of the Big East today. Virginia Tech cruising in the fourth quarter against West Virginia. That Virginia Tech defense has not lost anything. Rutgers giving Syracuse a battle, 8:43 left to go, and the Scarlet Knights trail by 6. Later this afternoon, it'll be Temple and BC, a 3:30 start. First down from the 40-yard line. Betterson and Cox in the eye behind Hensel Bearden, the number 2 quarterback for Troy State. There's a give to the fullback, Cox. He runs into Jamel Weaver and John Square, picked up 4 yards. Jamel Weaver, number 21 for Miami, kind of an interesting story. He and his twin brother, Jarrell, who's the outside linebacker, were stand-up defensive ends in high school at Miami Northwestern. And Jamel, frankly, has just had trouble putting on weight, so they moved him first to linebacker when he got to campus and now to the safety spot. He's a terror on special teams.
Yeah, he's a blinder going down on special teams. At 6'2", 189 pounds, it doesn't bode well to be a defensive end.
2nd and 6 for Troy State. Cox and Betterson in the eye. Daniel O'Brien in motion for the Trojans. Option play, pitch to Betterson. Flag down as Betterson gets across the 45 to the 48-yard line. John Square, Chris Campbell, and Jamel Weaver all combining on the tackle. Thought I saw a flag fly on the near side.
I believe you did, Frank. I saw one as well.
It'll be against Troy State, so they'll mark off 5. And they'll replay 2nd down. Well, Troy State, John, in the first half certainly did what they set out to do. They shortened the game up. They had ball control.
On the offensive team, 5-yard penalty from the previous spot. Replay the down.
See a lot of that illegal participation penalty with this no-huddle spread offense. This is not the first team that's been guilty of that. But, Troy State shortened the game up in the first half. Miami only had the ball 5 times in the first half. So you figure their max would be 35 points, even in the first half, if they do everything right.
Well, that's why we saw the time of possession earlier in that graphic lean so much towards Troy State. They had control of this football game for the first quarter, midway through the second quarter, until Miami scored when they got the ball with under 2 minutes to play to take that lead into halftime.
2nd and 12 for Troy State. 5 receivers spread out. Bearden out of the shotgun. Taken off on a quarterback run. Chased by Jermel Weaver, and he chases him out of bounds at the 40, boy, they marked that up at the 48-yard line. Here's Miami's remaining games. Right now they are the #1 team in the country. A little bit of debate as to whether they will be #1 after the BCS comes out next week, but they're at Florida State next week. Then West Virginia and Temple at home, at Boston College, and that could be a very tough game. Syracuse here in the Orange Bowl, then Washington, of course, and then the big showdown with Virginia Tech. 3rd and 2 for Troy State at their own 48-yard line. Give this to Betterson. He has a hole and into Miami territory. Finally taken down by Sean Taylor at the 42-yard line, and that'll be a first down for the Trojans of Troy State with 5:42 left to go.
Well, credit the running, the tough running of Betterson right up the middle. You see a cut block right at the point of attack on number 97, Larry Anderson. Nice job by that offensive line from Troy State. They've been out there struggling all game long. There have been some backups and some starters still in the football game, but a nice job at the point of attack that time by the Trojan offensive line.
5 carries, 40 yards for DeWitt Betterson. Option, pitch to Betterson. Forced out by Antrell Roll. And that gain is marked out at the 35-yard line. So a pickup of 7 on first down. Jarrell Weaver now into the game at linebacker for Miami.
And Betterson will take a breather on the sidelines of Troy State. Looks like number 33, Black, will be back into the football game at tailback.
Baron Black accounting for the only touchdown in the game so far for Troy State. This is a 2nd and 3 play from the Miami 35. Devin Wells in at fullback for the Trojans. Lined up in the eye in front of LeBaron Black. That's a give to Wells, and he'll pick up a couple of yards, maybe just short of the first down. The 39, LeVar Scott, backup defensive end from Sebring, Florida, a senior making the tackle for the Hurricane defense. We're at the 5-minute mark, and it'll be 3rd and 1 for Troy State. Sneak by Bearden. Looks like he has the first down. Santonio Thomas, number 56, there to put the clamps on him. But it appears that the Trojans will have a fresh set of downs at the Miami 33-yard line. John, if you're Larry Coker, do you come out of this game happy, unhappy, or kind of ambivalent?
Well, I think you're happy because if you limit yourself on the injury front, which I think they have a couple nicks and bruises, maybe an ankle and a shoulder. They should be okay in the injury department. But I think Larry Coker's happy the way his team came back after halftime. I think he was expecting them to maybe have a lackluster performance with Florida State. As much as you want to downplay that, you're playing, you compare Florida State and Troy State, and there's really no comparison. You were looking forward to the big showdown away from the Orange Bowl. So with the first down granted to Troy State, it looks like they're on the run. I think Larry Coker should be happy. They've tried to limit themselves on penalties. They still want to take away those bad penalties, the unsportsmanlike conducts, the running into the kicker, those types of things. But they have to keep their aggressiveness going on the road in a tough environment for next week.
Shirko Haji Rasuli, the starting left guard, had ice on his left shoulder. Howard Clark left the game with a sprained ankle, and Najee Davenport left in the first half with cramps and did not return. First down from the Miami 32. This is LeBaron Black. And he'll pick up 4 or 5 yards. Vince Wilfork, number 75, there on the tackle for Miami. Gain was to the 28-yard line, and it'll be 2nd and 6. Under 4.5 minutes to go.
And Frank, on the other side of the football, you have to be happy with the way Troy State played. If you're going in after the game, evaluating the game, the first quarter they really played well. They spread the football out. They did a nice job. 38-7 is not indicative of how they played this first half. I think Miami just dominated defensively with the turnovers early in that third quarter.
On a second down, Bearden, straight drop back. Blitz coming, and he's down for a sack. James Scott, the safety, the backup safety, coming in to get his first career sack.
James Scott coming with a full head of steam. Left side of your screen, nobody comes out to pick up number 29, James Scott. And the young quarterback Bearden decided, now I don't know if I want to throw this. I might as well take the sack, and he took some punishment along with it. James Scott coming in from the edge. Big pressure by the Canes defense.
James Scott done a little bit of everything for Miami. He's played a little running back, played a little safety. Came here as a wide receiver. And is even a emergency long snapper. It'll be 3rd and 13 for Troy State. The loss was 8 yards, back to the 35-yard line.
That's delay of game again, Frank, it looks like.
You're right, John.
Delay of game, offense, 5-yard penalty, replay, 3rd down.
That's something that even if you're a young quarterback, you always have to take pride in. If it's not the sidelines confusing you with maybe a late call or a substitution, you always have to be aware of the clock, and that's things you're taught, very young as a quarterback.
Well, in this offense, you spend so much time looking at the sideline to get the play that sometimes you lose track. 3-man rush. Bearden trying to set up a screen for Skipper. Too high for him and off his fingertips. Incomplete. And it'll be 4th down. Heavy pressure from Jerome McDougal and Vince Wilfork.
Yeah, that was a tough throw that time, trying to hit your receiver on the screen, going backwards, like you said, Frank, under duress.
And Troy State will go for it on 4th and 14. 12 plays so far in the drive, which started back at the Troy State 8-yard line. 4 wide receivers split out. Shotgun snap, pressure on Bearden, chased by Jerome McDougal. Bearden gets it away, and it is out of bounds. Caught by Hayward Skipper, but he was well out of bounds. Antrell Roll back there on the coverage, and Miami will take over on downs at their own 40-yard line with 2 minutes and 44 seconds left to play. We'll take a timeout as well with 2:44 left to play from the Orange Bowl. Miami leads Troy State 38-7. You're watching Big East football from ESPN Plus.
He's a field goal kicker. What's so amazing about a field goal? It's 63 yards under pressure.
Under pressure? Pressure? I never said more than 5 words to a field goal kicker in my life.
Like, go get me some water and hurry.
Guys, look, I got $40. Says none of y'all can hit from half that distance.
You got it.
I'll take that. It's a bet.
Guys, believe you're up.
Pretty far.
Oh, sweet.
Butler, 10% discount.
Guys, I'm sorry, you're not the game day band.
We are the game day band.
And we're back. Big Ten football.
College Game Day, Thursday nights at 7 on ESPN.
But baseball, it's market time. This field, this game, it's part of our past, Ray. It reminds us of all that once was good. It could be again. Oh. People will come, Ray. People will most definitely come.
Baseball tonight, every night at 10 and midnight on ESPN.
2:44 left to play here in the 4th quarter. Miami just playing out the string here. They lead at 38-7. Najee Davenport suffering from cramps in the first half, and I would imagine they had to be pretty severe because he did not return at all. And Shirko Haji Rasuli, you see the plastic wrap on his left arm. That's holding an ice bag under his jersey. And hopefully he'll be all right for next week. An offensive line for Miami, which has not allowed a sack so far this season. 1st and 10 from the Miami 40. Derek Crudup, straight drop back. And throwing incomplete. Threw it between Cobia and Winslow. Derek Ansley had the closest shot at the ball at the 50-yard line.
This would be the most valuable film study for this young unit for the Miami offense right now, because they'll be able to see where they are on the football field at quarterback, at wideout, at fullback. That time it looked like the tight end and fullback were within 5 yards of each other. You need a little bit more separation to give Derek some time to throw the football where he wants to put it.
Derek Crudup, 2 of 6 for 19 yards. Came in the game late in the 3rd quarter. 2nd and 10, Hurricanes at their own 40. Frank Gore with the football. And he picked up 2 yards. Number 32, Gordon Williams, who is a Miami guy out of Southbridge High School, making the tackle for the Troy State defense. And it'll be 3rd and 8 for the Hurricanes at their 42. 2 minutes, 20 seconds, and the clock moving here in the fourth quarter. Neither team has scored in the fourth period of play. Miami with the big 21-0 burst in the third quarter really put this game away, stretching out a 10-point halftime lead. You see Williams limping off the field. On 3rd and 8. Give to Frank Gore on a draw. Gore with a good burst, flagged down, and Gore got to the 50-yard line. Would have been close to a first down. Jimmy McClain made the tackle, but I think they're going to have a holding penalty on Miami.
Yeah, and unfortunately for Miami, it wasn't at the point of attack. It was well behind the play.
Offensive line coach Art Kehoe will not be happy with that. Even out of his second unit guys. There's Art. Long-time member of this Miami coaching staff. He's been here through Schnellenberger, through Jimmy Johnson, through Butch Davis, and now Larry Coker.
Guess you could say Art is a survivor.
He definitely is.
Holding on the offensive team, 10-yard penalty, previous spot, replay, 3rd.
That'll move it back to the 32-yard line and bring up a 3rd and 18. Derek Crudup, the freshman out of Deerfield Beach High School. And it's a hot one down there, and they got the big fans. You know what? I've stood in front of those, John. Those are great.
Those are pretty good.
They throw out this really fine mist, and it doesn't really get you wet, but it does cool you down.
Sometimes I like to hook that onto my belt loop and just walk around with it.
3rd and 18. Crudup dumps it over the middle to Cobia. They'll get to the 40-yard line and no more. Picked up 8 yards. Michael Jackson made the tackle. Not that Michael Jackson, the other Michael Jackson.
That's right.
So it'll be 4th down for Miami, and Freddie Capshaw will come in to kick it away. Hayward Skipper, number 3, going back to receive the punt for Troy State. You see the clock moving. Now at 1:15 to go. Capshaw. Nice kick into the wind. Skipper at his 10. Could not get away from Jarrett Payton, who made the initial contact. And then the cavalry arrived. Number 47, Ken Dangerfield, finishing off the tackle for the Hurricanes. A 50-yard punt by Freddie Capshaw, who has done an outstanding job, the former walk-on from Rock Springs, Wyoming. And Hansel Bearden will lead Troy State out for what may be their final possession. 1 minute and 2 seconds left to go. Ball at the Troy State 12-yard line. And they'll go with a standard I set. 2 wide receivers, 1 tight end. Devin Wells and Pedersen in the I. Pedersen with the football. Bursting through. Pedersen up across the 25 to the 28-yard line. Intro roll, Ken Dangerfield combining on the tackle. First year in Division I, the transitional year for Troy State. They next go to Mississippi State. Then they'll host Cal State, Northridge, and Southern Utah. They visit 25th ranked Maryland at Louisiana Monroe. Then they finish it out at home against Jacksonville State and North Texas. Next year they'll go into the Sun Belt Conference and play a full-fledged Division I schedule. Pedersen with 7 carries for 64 yards here in the fourth quarter. Here, give to Pedersen. And again, he's got a lot of space up to the 44-yard line, and that'll be another first down as he picked up 15. Al Marshall made the tackle.
Troy State finishing up the game the way they started the football game. A lot of draws and misdirections that were gashing Miami early and late in this football game. Needless to say, there's a lot of backups on the field for both sides, but nice showing by number 9, the young running back, DeWitt Pedersen.
And we're down to 26 seconds and the clock running. Bearden again gives to Pedersen. And again he bursts through. And finally Sean Taylor made the tackle, fumble, loose football, and they're going to call him down. They said Pedersen was down. Al Marshall came up with the football, but they're going to mark it dead at the Miami 42-yard line. Another gain of 14. Let's see if he was down. No, I think that came out early.
Well, Pedersen running the football off left tackle. He's had a couple nice back-to-back runs. You see the football sliding out, and that is a fumble. That's one they missed, but with 3 seconds left on the game clock, I don't think it's going to matter
much. And they do
much.
not get the next play off. So this one is history. From the Orange Bowl in Miami, Florida, the Miami Hurricanes beat Troy State An easy 38-7 victory. Maybe not as big a margin as most people around the country expected, but Larry Coker moves to 4-0 as a head coach.
Larry Coker, an excellent job, 4-0 in his Miami Hurricane teams. You take a look at Ken Dorsey, 299 yards passing. They did what they wanted to do offensively through the air. Maybe not on the ground or a good mix like they usually have, but defense set the tone in this second half to propel Miami to this 38-7 victory.
Well, there is your final score from the Orange Bowl, 38-7. We'll be back to wrap it up from the OB. Miami wins it 38-7 over Troy State. We'll be right back. You're watching Big East football from ESPN Plus.